Night and the Gemini crew.
Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be watching this transmission. It is I, Mike Martins. Thank you so much for joining us tonight for Mike in the Night. The date is April 4th, 2020. It is turning out to be the worst year in my known history ever of just badness. And today we're going to be covering what are you doing in this self-isolation? What are you doing? How is this psychologically playing with your mind? How is COVID playing with your mind? So we got a couple of guests coming on. For a lot of first-time callers coming on that haven't come on before. So we got Captain Cook coming on first, and we got we'll get David back on today. Hopefully we can get Tino from Seattle, a big hot zone there in the United States, in Washington State there. And we'll probably can Lord Humongous and a couple other guests here tonight. So we got Sam Smart in Central Florida. Hopefully he can come on the show. Add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. Tig Nim is reading the Bible. Good. Dense Setrov is saying I'm working still for sure the next 2 weeks. So what's happening, you know? How is this psychological playing? Yeah, okay, let's say you're working. But how do you feel driving home on empty streets and, you know, psychologically? How is this playing with your psyche? Anyways, so it's Mike in the Night. Whether you're watching us in your box in the sky or your cabin in the woods or your semi-detached $2 million bungalow in Vancouver, or you're out in somewhere in Central Florida watching this out of the Everglades, you are tuned in to Mike in the Night. Slick that Easy Boy chair back, pop open some nice sparkly water, heck, maybe a nice cold Gatorade to get those electrolytes pumping. Oh yeah, we are here, we are together, and we've come together and united tonight to speak. So, welcome to Mind Games on Mike in the Night. All right, what do we got going here? What do we got going on? Let's start off with a quick channel plug before we get into numbers and what's going on. Guys, thanks for joining the channel. Here is the channel. Please go in and share anything. We want to go against the YouTube algorithm. Every other channel that I've been noticing, I've been following a couple of channels that just started out. They're just blowing up, thousands of subscribers per month. And I'm not going to judge their content or anything, but it's just I'm following some different angles channels, seeing how they're doing, and I wow. So if you guys want to get back at the algorithm, please share a video. I don't care, on any platform. Don't forget to support me on Patreon. Buy me a coffee, $1 a month buys me a coffee, and that pays my internet bill. And don't forget to pick up your Lord Humongous mug or Mike in the Night mug or swag here, Supreme Cannon mug. I'm wearing my Mike in the Night t-shirt, baby. I got it clean for tonight. I'm so excited. It's the shirt right here. This one right here. This thing is so nice. Oh my, it says Mike on the Night 3 times on it. It's really nice. Just kind of want to throw that out there. And don't forget to tip me on PayPal. And I'm going to give you guys my Facebook, guys. Let me give you guys my Facebook. If you guys want to follow me on there, please go ahead. Here it is. There's my Facebook, guys. Follow me on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram too if you want to follow me on there. All right, here we go. Mike in the Night. What time is it local time? 7. It's 8. I see. I started a few minutes early. There's a lot of people in the comments. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna just jump in, play the music for a minute or two, get a little bit of Mike in the Night rocking and rolling, and get people on the show. I did work on the audio the last couple of days. I really did. I really moved things around in the audio, trying to get it to work as good as possible. So who do we got rolling in the comments here? We got Terry Tony. We got Gian. Any PPC, People's Party. Yeah, we have lots of PPC in here. I voted PPC. Political Foolishness. In the house, we got Low Roller Scratcher, Timothy Krenuk, Den Centrov, Aquarius, of course, Gary Ann, Supreme Cannon, woo! I was just speaking to him on Skype. Owen in the house. Tig Nim, of course. Who else we got? We got Romeo. We got Freedom Prospector. Jay Smith, Ravi G. Everybody in the house. If I missed you, I'm sorry. Oh, Ani64 Gemini, 2-time world champ in the house. Oh, we got Steven Sewell. Nagan. Timothy Kernok. I love China. Hold on, let me get my soundboard here, guys. You know I love China, right? Okay, here we go. Where is my sign? There it is.
I love China. I love China.
So let me know if you guys love China too.
I love China.
They're kind of ruining things around the world, and they're looking pretty bad when they keep saying that they did nothing wrong. I think that makes it even worse, you know? All right, who have we got here? All right, just setting up my little clock here so I know how much time we're spending with each other here. All right, guys. I got used to go over, but I'm gonna get somebody on a new caller on the show. A new caller on the show. Make sure he's ready to go. He said he's ready to go, so I'm gonna bring him on the show. Where the heck did he go? We got Captain Cook coming on the show today. Here it goes, Captain Cook. We're gonna find out what he's doing in isolation.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Captain Cook.
How are you?
Good, I'm doing fantastic. Where you at?
I'm in Auckland City. I've just turned down my laptop. I'm a bit nervous.
Wait, you're in Auckland City?
Oh, I'm on the south. I'm in South Auckland. So yeah, we're in the city, but.
Oh, okay. So you're in New Zealand.
Yeah, we're in Auckland, about 50k from the city centre.
Good. Tell us what's going on there.
Well, what's going on? We've been in lockdown officially for about 10 days, I think it is now. 10 or 11 days. Except for essential services, so maybe 10% of the population is working, and the rest of us are just at home.
Okay. Now I wanted to ask you, what have you been? How is this playing on you psychologically?
It was all right at first, but it's getting pretty tough because what happened is the government has said that they will give us, like a subsidy or like a benefit, if you like. So I'm kind of waiting around for that, and that's actually really tough. We're all pretty stressed about the financial side of things.
I'm not a big fan of the governance in your country. I think Jacinta Ardern. I don't know. I don't know what their playbook is anymore. I know that when that government came into play, they wanted to basically do the Kiwi build, and they wanted to, with Phil Tyford, they wanted to build homes and middle class for the middle class to get in, and I think they ended up building 16 homes out of 100,000.
Yeah, that's a bit of a that's a bit of a joke. No one really believes the politicians around here anymore, Mike. You know,
Yeah.
they they really sold us out. So we're all quite stressed collectively about the economy because, and I made some notes for you.
Sure.
New Zealand being a small economy, we do depend a lot on our exports and our tourism. Tourism is probably our second biggest export or second biggest market for our economy,
Right.
and that's just been wiped off. So that can't be good for the economy. You know
No.
what I mean?
No, no, because they bring in foreign money. Foreign money from all over the world comes in and gets dumped there when people go on tours there and vacation and hotels and Airbnb and car rentals. That's no longer happening.
No, that's right, and all the flow-on effects of that. So all your industry and services that connected around that. You got logs that are guys that were sending logs to China and they're just sitting on the wharf. And that's
What
been like
about
that
dairy?
for.
How's your dairy industry? I know it was taking a kick in the pants a few months ago.
Oh, dairy's okay,
Right.
but I guess it saves us, but it doesn't save us from the debt. That's like every country in the world. That's the problem, and the houses are overvalued, and the wages are low. I've spoken to a couple of friends, and we all seem to agree that if unemployment goes up, they will take the chance to put the wages down. Um,
Hmm.
because they can. And so, there's that side of it. The other thing, Mike, is we've got now, when you go to the supermarket, you have to line up. So that's another quite a psychological, um, gets at you.
It gets at you
It rem-
psychologically. So people
yeah,
that are just joining the channel, this is Captain Cook from 50 miles south of Auckland, New Zealand. So he's giving us a download. Have there been toilet paper wars there that you know of?
oh, there was at the start. You know, it was actually quite funny. Like, come on,
But you know
come
what's
on.
happened locally with the toilet paper wars? A lot of people are trying to bring the toilet paper back because they have no money for food, and the stores are telling them to get lost.
Yeah, well, yeah, in New Zealand, it's a real problem because we're a low wage economy, and our leaders, great leaders, they've been saying that for years. Oh, hey guys, it's really good. You should be grateful because we got jobs, but you never get enough really to get ahead. You just get enough to just survive. And now with what's happened,
It's a
everybody's
pay-as-you-go economy.
yeah, but everyone's like only a week or two out from being on the street, as it were, and that's kind of what people are facing now. It's a very stressful time.
And have you been reading? Or have you been reading? It's a great time to pick up a book and read.
Oh, I've been reading my Bible a bit and trying to get into my music. I play guitar and sing, so I've been trying to do that.
Okay.
Uh, Watching a lot of movies on YouTube.
Good, 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 good. And,
Yeah, trying to stay positive. Oh, one good thing is certainly getting closer to family and friends.
yes, yes.
That's one good thing about it. But yeah, no, we do okay, but we're certainly hurting. And then the other thing about the New Zealand economy is our biggest exporter or partner, economic partner. Sorry, I'm not sure the words. Would be Australia, and so we're kind of tied to them a lot.
Well, yeah, your banking system is too.
Oh, very much so. So most of our tourism comes from Australia. Most of our exports and all that goes to Australia. So when they hurt, we hurt, and
Hmm.
so yeah, it's pretty scary. But we are trying to just stay positive and get through it. And then of course you've got some idiots who are just kind of flouting the rules and going to the beach and
Yeah,
driving
go to
around
the
and seeing their
beach. They
friends.
should send them to
Yeah,
Miami for a weekend.
yeah. It's like, oh my, are you kidding me? You know, go home. We want to go back to work.
Yeah, they want to slow this
We
down as slow as possible. I have an article actually over here. I'm going to read it to you for everybody listening. It's
Yeah.
on the channel, by the way. I put it up on the channel the other day. It's an article, and it's under community. And a lot of people saying that, oh, they're going to shut us down. They're going to shut down all our stuff. Well, here it is. I'm going to read it to you guys. It's like a paragraph long. Corporation of the City of Kelowna. That's the city northeast of me. Public notice.
Oh, yeah.
Notice is hereby given that in order to prevent the spread of the Spanish influenza, all schools, public and private, churches, theaters, moving picture halls, pool rooms, and other places of amusement and lodge meetings are to be closed until further notice. All public gatherings consisting of 10 or more are prohibited. Kelowna, BC, 19th of October, 1918.
Wow, yeah, I saw that. I think the biggest thing that I'm really struggling with, Mike, at the moment is just the unknown.
Yeah,
You don't
I know
really
what you
know what
mean.
this is. You don't know how long it's going to go on for. I'm waiting to find out because what happened is the government, they said, oh, we'll give businesses subsidies. And of course, everyone applied, and government departments, that's just a bad idea. So I'm supposed to get paid next Wednesday, and we're still waiting to find out whether we got the subsidy. So that's fun. You can just imagine.
It's this eeriness, this like maybe do just find an excuse to go into town at night, and then do a drive-by video, just driving by the eeriness of the Auckland at night.
Oh, it's weird. Yeah. So no, yeah, we're okay.
Well, you're headed towards winter.
Yeah, we are. It's getting cold.
Yeah, you're
But
heading
in
towards
saying that, the last 4 days have probably been the hottest I've seen in a while. Actually, just like summer.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know what's that about.
what follows usually winter in New Zealand? What usually happens? It's flu season, right?
Yeah, it gets pretty cold, gets pretty damp because of where we are. We're very close to the water.
Right.
It gets very damp, very cold, and we have a lot of frost in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And quite
That's
a bright, hot sun, but at night it gets pretty cold. In Auckland, it gets down to about 1 or 2, or maybe -1. That's centigrade. That's not.
Yeah. I know. Yeah.
It's different. So, as you go further down the island, you have the mountains, and they get snow on them, and then they get the cold wind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Oh, no, not really. Just love the show. Love the show.
Well, keep us up to date on everything, please. Keep us up to date on what's going on there. Let us know if you want to come back a week from now. Let us know if you got your payout or your benefits, or keep us on the loop on what's going on there in New Zealand.
Oh, I'd love to. Yeah, I'm just a bit nervous actually. You're like
Nervous
famous,
for what?
and I'm just some guy in my room.
There's nothing to be nervous about. Don't worry about it, man.
Yeah.
It's just one guy talking to another guy.
It's quite weird though what's going on, because I'm.
Oh, he put me on hold. Hello, you put me on hold.
Rule.
Yeah, you're there. Go ahead. Say
Yeah.
you tell me what you were saying. It's kind of weird.
It's quite weird to me that we're all sitting at home, waiting around for what we don't even know yet.
The inevitable.
And one of my hobbies, if you like, is history, and I do remember growing up watching the Russians lining up for food, and how quickly people have just complied and, oh yeah, I've got to line up, I've got to wear a mask. If you know what I mean, that's quite that kind of scares me a bit. Where's the resistance? Where are people standing up?
Well, I hope that article I read from you, it's posted on our community page, kind of alleviates you a little bit, because if they were going to take over the world, they would have done it back then because they had the chance to.
Yeah, well, this is true.
So hopefully we don't hope for the best, and you stay strong, and and we will talk very soon.
Yeah, we'll catch up again. I'll keep watching. It's great. Love your show.
Thanks, Captain Cook.
Thanks, Mike. Bye.
That is Captain Cook from Auckland, 50 miles south of Auckland, New Zealand, coming on the show, giving us an upbeat feel of what's not an upbeat, but an eerie feel of what Auckland feels like. Lineups at stores, at home waiting, uncertainty. You know what I'm saying? And huge uncertainty going on. No one knows if they're tricking or treating or where they're going. All right, let's go to I love China.
I love China.
All right, let's get to a little bit of news here. I just wanted to make sure I got Craig Cook on because we need we need some more regular New Zealand callers from the Commonwealth to come on and give us an update on things. All right, let's go into COVID numbers. We're at 1.2 million. United States of America just surpassed 311,000 tested cases positive for coronavirus. Spain, España, 126,000. Italia, 124,000. Germany, 96,000. France, 90,000. Wait a minute, I think Iran passed China. Wait, this thing's old. Hold on a second here. Oh, maybe I'm looking at deaths. Hold on, new cases. Oh, total new case. Hold on. Let me just check this out here. Hold on. Yeah, USA first. Yeah, Iran's coming close to China. Sorry, France surpassed China, Germany. I told you guys that this entire list here, all the way down to Bango, Congo, Wunungu, all the way the last country on this list is going to be past China. Everybody is going to pass China on this damn list. Okay?
Mexico.
Now, Mexico has been under tested, and all these people now, if they went to Mexico from the last week of December till now, they're telling people that they must get tested for COVID-19 because there's so many people walking around Mexico with it, and no one's being tested with it, and the people that show symptoms go home and self-isolate, right? But it's not that easy. Okay, we got the comments in the house going crazy. We got MK. We got Papa Pissed. We got Matsky, Justin Cringe Diversity Channel. Guys, don't forget to check out that channel. Amazing channel. Owen, Christina Flores, Nat Pacheco, Nat Pacheco saying, I was looking at a condo a few back. The agent said, if you don't buy now, it will go up 100K next year. I told him I was looking for a home, not an investment. Woo! Good for you. At least now you're not catching a falling knife right now. Mexico is reporting numbers, but a majority of the numbers that Mexico has, from what I've heard from the Telemundo, when I was watching Noticias Telemundo in Univision, they were saying that doctors are self-diagnosing. By look at someone, okay, you have this, you have that, you have this, you have that. Check, check, check. Okay, go home and self-isolate. We think you have coronavirus. That's what they're doing in Mexico a lot too, right? So I got the news open here from Ecuador, and Ecuador is, wow. Ecuador is 172 deaths the other day, and that's what they know of that's from coronavirus. And the amount of cadavers and bodies being left on the streets is just absolutely, like, I don't even know how to explain it, the news from there. And attacks, too. People are being attacked. Businesses being broken into. Yeah, and then here, this is they're even reporting on news from Spain that Spain is confinamiento hasta el 25 de abril. They're extending the confinement of self-quarantine till the 25th of April here, according to what this is saying. And Guayaquil, they having a big deal. That's the city in Ecuador, if you're just following my channel, that is actually having a tough time with bodies and organizing and putting things with where to put bodies. So, próximas semanas incremente. Okay, and they passed a law in Ecuador too, where they're trying to minimize the amount of vehicular use in the city to try and cut down keep passageways or streets open for emergency vehicles. That's another thing. So that's a law that was passed yesterday. So we're going to keep an eye on Ecuador because they are kind of discussing everything. They're discussing everything. They're forward with their like right here. They don't hide what is going on. COVID-19 in Ecuador, 145 muertos, 145 dead, and 3,368 people contagious that have it. So there it is there. So this is getting a lot worse. And look how young this guy is, man. This guy's what? Maybe 27? Maybe 25? So there it is there. And there it is there. All these coffins all over the place. Littered around the streets in that town. It's horrendous. So let's move on from Ecuador here. Let's go over to Zero Hedge and see what our friends Tyler Durden has to say. Speaking of Tyler Durden, guys, pick up a shirt, man. It's pretty dope, man. Walking around, everyone's like, hey, nice shirt, man. I'm like, I know. Anyways, 350 more COVID-19 deaths reported in New York City as U.S. braces for the 7th days of hell. We got somebody calling. I'm not sure who that is. Let me just check and see who that is. Oh, I'm in Australia. Yeah, sure. Here. Hold on. I'll hold on. Hold on, buddy. I'll get you on right here. Timothy, where'd you go? Here we go. All right, let's hear your story. We're getting TC on the channel. Hello?
Mike.
Hey, what's up,
Mike.
Doc? How you doing?
Long time watcher, first time caller.
No problem, buddy. Okay, how is this virus working on your psyche, psychologically?
Okay, so I've been sick for the past 3 weeks.
Okay.
I've been sick for the past 3 weeks. I called the national health line. I called the national line. And he asked me all these questions, and then I spoke to the nurse, and he asked me some more questions. And then I went. He gave me the hospital, and I went to the hospital, and I was in line, and the line was massive line of people, and I was scared that I might catch it from one of the if I didn't have it, because I went to the GP like a few days beforehand for the physio because I've got cerebral palsy. I went to the physio, and they freaked out. They put me outside and they gave me one of those masks. Everyone in the medical center was wearing a mask, and they gave me the number. And when I went there, the doctors said if I hadn't gone overseas, I shouldn't be tested. They didn't have enough testing kits. They can't test the whole country.
So what makes them think that people coming from overseas will bring it? What makes them think that it's not going to happen where someone from overseas comes in and gives it to you?
That's what I was thinking, and I was scared that I might get it from someone in the line of people.
What part of Australia live?
I'm in Western Sydney.
Oh, okay. So the hospital's not too far from you.
No.
Yeah. So okay. So what are you feeling? Are you just like coughing? Are you getting
I'm vomiting. And recently my chest is in so much pain. I can't move without my chest hurting. My chest hurts.
Is there any? I'm just trying to think of is there anybody is there a friend somebody you could call? Are you self-isolated alone?
I'm in a house with my mum, dad, my brother.
Okay, so you're not alone.
No.
Okay,
my
thank God.
My dad's sick too.
And he's got the same symptoms you have?
He says he's not as bad as me. I can barely talk.
Oh no. Well, you're gonna have to get the attention of these people. I don't know, like the best thing in Australia. I'm not too sure what to do in Australia, but to be frank with you, you just got to get their attention and tell them the best thing to do.
I got one of those. I got the mask from the GP, so I wear that mask.
Yeah, a mask is not gonna do much for you, but I do. You know what? I was speaking to one coronavirus patient that actually survived coronavirus, and he's in his 70s. Do you know what he did? He just drank a ton of Gatorade.
My mate was telling me to gargle warm water.
Yeah, warm and salt, warm lemon water, warm lemon water.
Yeah, coughing really bad.
I'm sorry to hear that. Like I said, maybe some warm lemon water in the mornings, so you could alkalinize your blood. I don't know. Gargle some salt water. I'm just trying to think. Just take down a ton of Gatorade if you can, because one older man that had the sickness, and he was really bad, and he was already getting everything prepared, and he just kept downing the Gatorade, and a week or two later, he just started feeling a lot better. I don't know if it's the electrolytes, the salt. I don't know what's in it, but a lot of people have been doing that. They're downing Gatorade.
I don't drink Gatorade. I drink a lot of coffee.
Yeah, coffee is. I think it makes
I
you.
know they say not to drink it, but I like it too much.
Yeah, I hear you. But yeah, no. We wish you all the best. We'll send you a bunch of prayers on the. We'll pray for you, man.
All right, long time watcher. I watch your show all the time. That's what
Timothy,
I've been
man,
doing.
I really appreciate it. You need to stay strong, buddy. We need you strong.
All right, cheers, mate.
God bless. Bye.
Bye, mate.
Bye. Wow. What do you tell, like, when someone's not feeling well? You know what? It could just be the flu. Honestly, he could just have the flu. He's experiencing a lot more. Yeah, coffee will dehydrate you and make you more thirsty, is what it would do. Yeah. If he's watching, I know he's watching. I know he's watching right now. So if he could, guys, give him some comments here. Honestly, he should just down a bunch of Gatorade. I know it sounds weird, but this guy was almost gone. This one guy was almost gone, and he for some reason he was just craving the green Gatorade, the green one. He just kept downing it, and all right, we got Eduardo calling in, 2-time world champion. Just down a bunch of Gatorade. Yo, Eduardo.
Mike, how's it going?
It's going good, buddy. You staying out of jail?
Why would I be in jail?
All right, good to see you, buddy. Okay, what's the good word, man? What's going on? So our first caller was from south of Auckland. Second caller was from Western Sydney, and then now we got Eduardo here from the other part of the Commonwealth in Ontario, Toronto area.
Okay, first of all, Mikey, I gotta correct you. When Queen Victoria died in 1901, she released Canada from the Commonwealth.
I'm just saying it as figure of speech.
Well, I don't want to lie to people. So.
I just English. I'm talking about English-speaking countries. English-speaking countries. You know what I mean. So what's the word on the street, buddy? Out east.
Some people are really pissed off at me because I'm speaking the truth about the scandemic. It's a scam as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
I think it's the people that are really sick are probably coming down with, this is my personal opinion, and I'm
that's fine.
not a
That's
doctor.
Fine.
But I think it's influenza B, which is highly contagious. And it sounds like influenza B to me. And the fact that there's no publicity about influenza B, how come they're not publishing the numbers for the flu this year? All they're talking about is this COVID-19.
But influenza B is very lethal to anyone 65 and older, and people with severe underlying medical conditions too. So yeah, you could be right, 100%. I'm not doubting you one bit. You know why, Eduardo? Can I tell you why? Because we don't even know what the hell we're dealing with. Even today, we don't. I don't think we know what we're dealing with, to be honest with you.
All I've been seeing is a lot of lies in the mainstream media.
Oh, the mainstream media has never told the truth, ever.
But a lot of people believe what they hear and read on the news. Apparently, someone related to Kumo down in New York City has been going on CNN, coughing and hacking and saying how rough it is and how bad it is. And people are believing this shit. Like, come on, man. So no one's had the flu?
Yeah,
Anyways.
but the thing is, okay, so that's why I'm focused on other countries like Ecuador. I'm focused on other countries. They get the flu, but they don't get it as hard as we do because they're close to the equator. They're warm pretty much most of the year. And for them to get the flu like we do here in the north, the odds are unless somebody from Canada goes down and brings it.
Well, heat kills it. Sunshine kills it.
Right.
Soapy water kills it. Almost everything kills it.
Right.
So here we're locked up inside, and a lot of people work in office buildings. A lot of people take public transportation. It's warm, but it's not hot. Sunlight is low this time of year, but it is increasing. It is getting better.
Yes.
Flu season is normally December through March. So we're into April now, so we're turning the corners. Now, I've gone to the hospital Wednesday afternoon, Thursday evening, Friday morning.
For what?
See what the hell's going on, because I figured they're going to have the morgues will be lined up down the street. The hospitals will be jamming up the place.
Well,
The
not
lineup
yet.
should be around the block.
That's when we peak. That's going to be in about right now. Washington State. I was speaking to someone on the city council there in Washington State, and they told me they're going to be peaking in about 3 weeks.
Peaking on acid?
No, peaking on the COVID outbreak. That's what they're saying. In about 3 weeks, they're going to be peaking. New York hasn't yet either.
I'll put money. I'll take bets.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Guys, Eduardo here will be taking bets in the comments section.
The only thing they're going to be peaking on is bad acid, okay? I'm telling you. Because these people are on something, or maybe they're just going through withdrawal because you can't get the powers that be. Maybe they're not getting their proper amounts of what's that chemical you get from little kids when you kill them?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And apparently you can buy synthetic stuff on
from Venezuela.
Amazon.
They're from Venezuela or something.
I don't know. It's just such a crock. And they're boarding up some windows downtown at the better stores. There's no traffic in Toronto. The hospitals are pretty much deserted. They're not going to be resuscitating patients in old age homes. I've heard that.
Oh.
So when this virus or whatever, like old age homes, ventilation is very poor. So if one person gets it or one person brings it in, you've got all these people that are quite old and frail, and they've got underlying health conditions. Which is why they're in an old age home. If they're perfectly healthy, 80 or 90-year-olds, they're still going to be at home.
Yeah, they're going to be partying at home. Why would they go to an old? Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you go to an old age home? It's because you're too much. They're obviously too much work, or the kids can't support the parents properly, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Or give them proper care because they got to pay the stupid mortgage that's sky high, ridiculous amount of taxes we have in this country, and keeping up with the Joneses, we're overburdened and overdebted. So they got to put them in an old age home, right? Just to make ends meet.
Yeah.
Because people can't stay home and take care of parents like they should, right?
Yep. I take care of my mom.
Good on you, man.
Or more like my mom takes care of me.
Well, no, I do things for my mother too, like the heavy stuff, but I don't want to do too much for her because I want her to get out and be active.
Yeah.
And stay strong. So, okay, I'm a bad son that way, but actually I'm keeping her alive longer and in better health by having her do all the crazy stuff that she wants me to do.
Yeah.
Now, if it's something that's too heavy or something she really shouldn't do, like climbing ladders.
Oh yeah,
gutters,
no, that's not going to happen.
That's I'll jump on that.
We got reports here that Canadian Tire is closed.
It was open 2 days ago.
No, some locations are closing. I saw that on the news, and some Tim Hortons now drive-thrus are closing because one person in the drive-thru tested positive for COVID.
Okay, people, if you've had a cold in the last year, guess what? You're going to test positive for COVID because that's what it's testing for. It's the cold virus. Doesn't mean you're going to die of the flu.
No, of course, no. A majority of people will get this. They'll succumb this. This is not a big deal. Like a lot of people will survive this, and there's going to be a small percentage of people that are completely immune to it. Completely, it wouldn't even affect them at all.
The statistically, they say 80% of the people that catch it or come down with it won't even know they've got it.
Yeah, that's what.
20% will get sick. 0.01% of those will die from it. And those numbers are a lot better than the flu. Okay, let me put this scenario on you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about anti-vaxxers. People don't want to vaccinate because they know there's all kinds of crap in the vaccinations. They know they've got micro RFID chips coming in. Bill Gates has been pushing this stuff, and he's stepping down from all his foundations all of a sudden.
What? He's stepping down from those Melinda and Bill Gates foundations?
Apparently, he stepped down. He's no longer president of Microsoft, and he stepped down from 2 of his foundations in the last couple months.
It's
But
almost
that's
like
not in
Hill
the
Dog.
mainstream media.
Well, it kind of reminds me of Hill Dog when Hill Dog. It's like Hill Dog leaving the Hillary Foundation. You know that would be shocking. Wow, that's a shock that he just stepped down. Okay, continue.
Well, maybe some of this Q stuff and Trump stuff, maybe there is some truth to it. You never know.
Yeah.
I'm still skeptical about the Q stuff, but man, I hope it's true what they're pushing, their agenda. Mind you, Q also said he's got to lie too. They've posted that they got to spread misinformation also, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed, have you noticed that all the countries that Italy was going to leave the EU, and guess what? Huge outbreak. And
Yeah, but that area in northern Italy was it was ripe for the taking. If you put 2 and 2 together, and the migrant workers from a lot of the workers were from from Wuhan area, from the state of Wuhan, that worked in northern Italy, and a lot of them actually worked too in southern France for raspberries and strawberries in the spring. A lot of people don't know that, but those areas are big for migrant Chinese workers.
Yeah. So I think the powers that be are doing a very good job of teaching us to be good little sheeple. They've scared the shit out of so many people that people are self-isolating. Think about that. You can't lock down a whole country with police force, but if you scare the hell out of everyone and brainwash everybody, and they do it on themselves, wow.
Yeah, it's a self-inflicting wound to yourself.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very, very, very interesting angle. I was going to ask, so you think it's, what strain of the virus what strain of the flu you think it was?
I think it's influenza B.
Influenza B. Because influenza B, if I go back to high school science, it's basically the same symptoms as COVID-19.
Yep. Now, if you're in the drug industry and you want to sell a new vaccine, why would you just sell a flu vaccine? Why not sell a COVID-19 vaccine, charge megabucks for it, highly just newly developed? You scared the hell out of every bonehead that doesn't want to dig deep and actually get to the truth. You've brainwashed the masses. They're going to be lining up. Liberals are literally going to be lining up to get poisoned with this stuff because they think it's going to save them. Meanwhile, there's no real threat.
I want to thank Dave Sabrani for dropping $5.49 through Super Chat. Thank you very much. Okay. All right, Eduardo. I'm going to... Any last words, buddy? You want to tell us anything else?
There's so many things I want to tell you. I'm getting skeptical about the 5G rollouts.
Tell us.
Well, they rolled out 5G in Wuhan last fall, right? And then all the people are getting sick. I hope it's not true, but there seems to be some evidence coming down that the frequency that 5G will be using could be actually quite harmful to us as humans.
Okay, but Ecuador doesn't have 5G.
So what's going on in Ecuador?
There's bodies all over the streets, literally.
Are these crisis actors or these literal
No, this
bodies?
is legit. I did a video and I got a lot of hate from a lot of people when I made that video. So that same night I went on and I was watching news from Ecuador, from Quito, from everywhere. Every different angle. There's just too many people they're talking to for it to be a crisis. Different locations in the country, different angles, different people, different groups, different classes. The red zone, they have a red zone, a green, and a yellow zone in Ecuador. The amount of bodies on the streets in Ecuador, and people dropping off bodies in front of hospitals and driving away with 20, 30-year-olds being dropped off dead is absolutely... I can't even fathom it. So that's why I made sure I rewatched that entire, not just that one. I've been watching 6 different news sources from Ecuador, and they're legit. They're interviewing legit people. They're pulling out of crowds. Hey, you, get over here. What's happening? Why are you wearing a mask? Oh, my mother's sick. She said this and that. And then they go, why are you standing outside of this house? Well, there's 2 dead bodies. There are one on the couch and one over by the television. They look in with the camera, and there's 2 people sitting there like dead. And they've been there for 3 days, and no one's coming to collect them.
Huh. What's killing them?
They say it's COVID-19. One lady went to northern Italy. They knew who she was. She was tested positive for it when she arrived in Ecuador in the first week of March. And ever since then, she came back. People in her family, and then there was a wedding and a couple of parties and a soccer game later. Half the town where they're from is sick. And a lot of the native people from that area, the native people, are going back to their Aboriginal tribes up the river where there's no roads to get to them. They're actually going upriver on these big long canoes with native people, like legitimate.
I'm wondering, have people down in Ecuador, have they ever been exposed to the flu?
Yes, they have.
I don't know. The flu usually doesn't do well in warm climates.
Yeah, but this is different. Remember, Eddie, this is very different. This is very different. This is a different thing we're dealing with. And that's why I'm going to say, and I'm always going to stick by, we have no idea what we are dealing with. Because the H1N... When you get off the phone with me, or when you get off, go to my channel, go back to like 2 days ago. There's one called Ecuador. Ecuador in Crisis. And if you want to go on the, they're live right now. Their channel's been live 24/7 covering this. And with different angles, different police. Police officer died the other day, and then the wife got it too, and then the child got it, and it's just crazy.
Interesting. Maybe there is something going on that we're not aware of.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, because Ecuador is on the equator, right? So for it to be like that bad, if the warm weather is supposed to kill it, we're seeing the exact opposite. Unless they're just buying coffins and putting them on the roofs of their cars and driving around with them just to make it look like a big scare is happening. I don't think that's the case. There's just piling up coffins everywhere. No one's picking up bodies. There was one body on the street, and the guy was filming it from a security camera, and he uploaded it to YouTube. It's not part of the news.
Okay, any chance there could be poisoning of the water?
No, because they've been that town. They've been drinking the same. They've been drinking. I looked into the water. I looked into the 5G. There's no 5G. The nearest 5G is south in Chile, way south in Chile. So there's no way. There's nothing else.
Huh.
So yeah. I'm gonna let you go. Eddie. Go right now. Go look at Ecuador right now. Look it up on Google, and then let me know in the comments here. Okay.
Okay, Mike. Thanks.
God bless you. Bye.
Hey, one more thing, Mike. Yeah. Find out what's going on in Hong Kong. I heard they're rioting again.
Okay, I'll see if I can call that guy if he's still alive.
And apparently in France, the Yellow Vest protests have restarted.
Okay.
I've heard. I can't confirm though.
Okay, I'll find out, Eddie. Look up Ecuador.
Will do, thanks.
Okay, bye. That is our man Eduardo here on the show. He's been on the show quite a few times. No, caskets were closed. No, they had a few of them. They opened them, and they were identifying bodies. They were opening them. There was people like in them, like they were identifying, because they got to mix up a caskets at one place and they weren't numbered. I was watching that on the news too. Like they were looking at them. No. So we got Debbie Kozak saying she lives in Bob Cajun. That Bob Cajun, that reminds me of a song, The Tragically Hip. Left your house this morning. I'm going to have that song in my head. Okay, let's continue here. A lot of good guests. So we had a guest on from south of Auckland, New Zealand, west of Sydney, Australia, and one from the city of Toronto, Ontario. Oh, I need to get Tino. Where the hell's Tino? Tino, I know you're in the comments. I saw you, so don't be hiding on me. Tino is in Seattle, where the big, massive outbreak. Let me just open the news in Seattle first, so I could show you guys what the heck is happening down in Seattle. Do I have it here? This guy's talking here. That's New York. I know I have Seattle here somewhere. That's Australia. Yeah, this is the biggest. If this is fake, this is the biggest hoax that ever happened in the history of humankind / mankind / I don't even know, man. It's Las Cruces. Yeah, I have a viewer who views my show in Las Cruces, New Mexico, and his mother is sick with this. So she's in the bedroom, like separate from everybody, window open, separate from the rest of the family. Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can get Seattle here. Oh, this is a Channel 8 Seattle? That's Oregon? Washington. Here we go. Washington State, Covey. So let's see if we got a video here.
State about the reporting glitches. Carlos Michelle Esteban is live to explain what's going on with that. Michelle?
Well, hi, guys. Sorry about the hail and the noise here. We are just in North King County, and it is really coming down. What I want to tell you about these numbers is it's a computer glitch. The state says it has everything to do with its vendor. And while that plays out, there has been a 3-day lag in data. And then on top of that...
Oh, they're getting a 3-day lag in data. So might as well get someone on the ground. Let's get Tino C in the house. 3-day lag in data.
Hey, Mike.
Yo, Tino, how are you?
Hey, doing good. Long
Thanks.
time watcher and first time calling.
Yeah, buddy. Welcome to Mike in the Night. Okay, man, what's on your mind? Tell us.
Well, just one thing. I'm back to work. I got laid off. I want to say about earlier this week, and my boss, basically fought for me. Say, hey, we need this guy back working.
What do you do? Are you essential business?
Oh, no, I wish I would have had a lot of money saved up. But no, I'm just a regular Joe. Just I work. I do what do you call it? Maintenance, repairing equipment, electrical.
Oh yeah,
water.
you're needed if if they need something fixed, they need you.
Oh yeah, well that's the thing. It's like when they first started coming of this virus, they closed everything. So we were just kind of like, okay, we'll do this, continuing. But as end of March, progressed, everything was not opening, and it's like, okay, well, we're gonna have companies basically cutting, people off, just trying to save money to stay afloat. So they were just like, hey, we're gonna be with just this small skeleton crew, this and that, and basically the big bosses, well, not all the bosses because a lot of them got furloughed. Mm-hmm. And there was just okay, they have like for my boss, he's like, okay, well, you're gonna have to do Tino's job and more and do this extra stuff, and it's like, mm-hmm. It's not easy when you're just a one man wrecking crew,
Well, as long as you, as long as you got a good radio or Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, and you can listen to Mike in the Night, you'd be okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. So how is this psychologically impacting you? Watching the empty streets, waiting in line up to go shopping. Is that what are you seeing in Washington, in Seattle?
It is starting to, put a strain on people. Especially at Home Depot. I went to Home Depot, and it's like, hey, they used to let people in, and now they were just like, okay, number of people going in, and then there were, that whatever 6 feet, apart. And, people were just like, what? They just couldn't understand it, So I could see out there that, it's putting strain people because they're used to going in and out, like in and out, we got to get this and gotta get that. Now it's putting more time, having to wait, As for myself, it hasn't really hit me that hard, I guess. Or, even if I knew I was going to get laid off, when my boss was saying, my boss, he was literally almost fixing to cry when he was going to tell me this. And I was like, hey, man, no crying, dude. And, but, because I kind of have, if something bad happened, like I lost my job or something, I have something like 6 months to a year of, saved up something, of a case of emergency. And it's hard to do that, to have a lot of families are not.
What's your background?
Background, like what kind of background?
It sounds like you have a bit of an accent.
So, sí soy de familia de México.
Oh, tú eres México. ¿Qué estado?
No, ¿qué estado era de Guanajuato?
Guanajuato, ok, ya, yo conozco.
Y mis parientes eran de San Miguel de Allende y mi papá es de Toluca.
Toluca, ok, ya, estuve en Toluca una vez. Ya, yo hablo español. Estuve en México casi 2 años.
Sí, yo me acuerdo que dijiste eso.
Yeah, man. Tino, me Tino. My carnal here from Mexico.
Yeah.
So anyways, okay, so what are your friends doing? What's your family doing? Hold on a sec. I want to thank Dave Sabrania. Dave Sabrani for selling me $3.99 Canadian. That's gonna go towards stuff. All right, continúa, hermano. Siga.
So yeah, like today, it's just I think cabin fever is starting to catch up with my family. My wife's getting frustrated with the kids, and the kids can't go outside. They can't, go places. We can't go anywhere. Where we usually, have to go. So it's just starting putting stress on them. Because kids can only do so much inside the house. I got a 7-year-old girl and a 7-year-old boy.
I got some video playing music here. Okay, there you go. Continue. Sorry. Sometimes I get channels just randomly playing advertising. Yeah, it's free advertising. Es pura mierda. Anyways.
I got a 7-year-old daughter and 8-year-old son. And, it's just, they're at that age where they just gotta be rambunctious, run around, do stuff. And just them being cooped up it's not good,
No.
But for my coworkers, it's been rough, especially because I got to see them laid off a lot, we had about I'm trying to think about 500 coworkers or so, So when it first started, it's, I was seeing it's like, hey, we can't have anybody 60 and plus and up, they gave them 2 weeks of pay, because they thought it might be over pretty soon, which was nice of them. And then, of course, the people that had health issues, they sent them too. But after that 2 weeks passed, it's like, hey, I don't think he's going to come back ever, and then it's just, they started just cutting. And, in some ways I understand a company needs to do that when they're trying to survive, Yeah,
of course. But this is kicking butt, because I've been watching photos of Seattle. It's completely dead, downtown Seattle.
It is. I want to say the first, and everybody might say, hey, I hate Amazon, I hate Microsoft, big corporate companies, hey, those big business support have a lot of smaller business that they depend, because especially a lot of restaurants, man, a lot of them went belly up, and then then you start closing these other shops, and just it's just a lot of just cut off a lot of people off guard. And I had the only thing that really, like I said, surviving right now is the what do you call it, the grocery stores.
How is that happening? I heard the rumor that they might be closing in Olympia, and I think in Tacoma or something. They might close some banks down.
You know, they've been not closing banks, but just less hours. I noticed that with a lot of stores. You know, where it used to be early as 7 in the morning to 11 or whatever. So nowadays it's been more like around like 8 o'clock to 7 p.m. So they're reducing the hours of opening, and it's just I think that's just putting more of a squeeze. You know, it's like, hey, it's almost saying like you can't be at night. You know, but it just right now the news are saying, hey, we got record showing that less crime being happening at night because everybody's staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so you know it seems a little bit, you know, where it's starting to get hunkered down more. I think our governor's he's kind of instead of doing it just, you know, ripping the Band-Aid, he's just doing bit by bit, you know. You know, before he says, okay, you know, we're getting close to our, especially like in a couple of weeks, we're supposed to hit our peak for, you know, for this virus. And
yeah, 3 weeks. They're estimating in Washington State by August 19.
Yeah.
No, August.
Yeah. So
I'm sorry, April 19th. Sorry, April 19th. They're hitting peak in April 19th.
Yeah. Well, our governor put something saying in, what is it, May the 4th, we should be opening back. But that's an estimate. That's still, we don't know. He pushed that. That's like the third time he pushed, you know, when we're going to go get back to business. And yeah, it's just, we're just waiting to see. And luckily our numbers of people getting infected hasn't skyrocketed like some places. Mm-hmm. And the deaths also has slowed down. It's not, you know, where, you know, we're like New York. I mean, that's just a tragedy there. You know.
Well, New York, in my opinion, New York is about 2 weeks and 2 days ahead.
Yeah.
2 weeks, 2 days ahead. Avanzado from where you are.
Yeah. No, I mean,
that's just my opinion. I've been following this all the way from northern Italy and tracking it through the Lusitania all the way down to Portugal to the Lusitania, and kind of following the trend, how it's kind of migrating with the way people are moving throughout Europe.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just that's the only thing, you know, just kind of, you know, that's the thing, we have to hunker down, you know.
Yeah,
just
hunker down, be smart, but you're safe, you're okay, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I where I work is I pretty much I was where I work at, it's like 8 miles where the pandemic first started, where all people died inside that nursing home.
Well, if you ever want to do some, you know, when you go to work, if you're late or something, or maybe do some videos for us and put it on, send it to me here on Skype, and I'll play it on our channel.
Oh yeah. I mean, I could, you know, just show you the empty streets.
Yeah.
I think they actually got. It was funny because they had security. They had this one guy was just kind of had his camera taking pictures, just you know, just I guess trying to be cute, just say, hey, this is pandemic moment, you know. Mm-hmm. But they gave him a rough time. It was like, hey, what you doing here? Do you work here? You know, they were just like shooing him off.
Wow, security was getting mad, eh?
Yeah, well, it's in one way. It's I see what they're trying to do is like not to have a lot of people loitering around, especially homeless. You know, because we are in a state that we just have a lot of homeless people.
Have you witnessed any toilet paper wars in there in Seattle?
No wars, but emptiness.
Emptiness, yeah. So no one fighting over toilet
it's
paper.
Like all gone.
Okay.
It was kind of funny because, you know, I was like, let me go check any toilet papers. They're like, nope, it's all gone at Walmart. And then I see the other side of the guy. He's telling his wife, hey, let's go. We got to go get some toilet paper. And he goes there and he just, in disbelief, he just put his arms up in the air. It's like, oh no.
So it's all out of toilet paper. Oh my God, that's dangerous, man.
Hey, man, it's like when my mom me dijo. Mm-hmm. You know, usamos piedras o papel de newspaper, you know.
Newspaper, yeah. That's what do you think newspapers for? That mainstream junk they send you in the mail or send you to your door. That's great. That's the best newspaper, man.
So I'm not worried because I used to live in a ranch, you know, and you know, we had no outhouses. So we used to just go outside the lake, hey, poop on the side and just, you know, cover it up, you know.
Yeah, and move on. Yeah. We did that for like what, a couple of 1,000 years till we got indoor plumbing.
Yeah. Yeah, no. So, But yeah, no, it's just it's just that yeah, there's the things that are happening. I think like a lot of meat, especially Walmart, because that's like the lowest. Like, it's cheap. It's cheaper there. So a lot of people are gonna just hoard and buy a lot of stuff from there. But if you go to like a Whole Foods or or a different store, maybe Target, there's still a good amount of food.
There is, yeah. Because you know why? It's because the truckers are putting their necks on the line.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for truckers, you'd see the workers there would go straight home, because there's nothing coming in, right? So it all goes back to the truckers. It all points back to truckers and railway workers. Those are the ones that basically.
And that's why I mostly saw around the streets. When I hit when I'm down in the city, it's just you see truckers. Food
camiones.
Truckers. Yeah, and they're just delivering, which is good.
Which is good. They keep the logistics moving, right?
Yes, and that's one thing. Part of it is just like, I kind of support the logistics where it's like, hey, this thing is broken. Okay, I go repair it. So that's why I'm kind of glad my boss was able to get me back on board. And don't get me wrong. It's like if I went unemployed, I would have used up all my PTO, which I have almost about 4 weeks of PTO, and then just go with unemployment. Which of course, whatever here in Washington, I think is 100% of what you get of your salary. Because some other states are like maybe 30%, 40%.
Oh, that 100% is really good.
Yeah, so 100%, then plus 600 from Trump.
Oh, that's good. As un bono.
Yes. So, and that's what a lot of people were kind of worried. It's like, hey, well, then you don't want to go back to work.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
It's like, but at the same time, it's like, it doesn't make an excuse, because regardless, that extra pay is only through like 4 months, and end of the 4 months, it's like, well, you're screwed, and then you don't have no job, and maybe the job where you used to work may not rehire you.
But you're in America, man. You're fine in America. If you don't, usually if you don't want to work, it's because you just don't want to work. If you can't, there's lots of work in America. You know what I'm saying? From what I've seen, there's just lots of like, I lived in Florida for 5 years. There's help when I was there. Was help wanted signs on every corner.
Yeah.
So
no, it's there's opportunity. So that's the thing, that's why I'm grateful. That's why I don't see why some of these people are like, hey, this is the government's doing this. It's like, nah, it's this is it has to support one of each other, because if the government decides to destroy its own infrastructure of, the way things are, it will go belly up, the country itself.
Yeah.
We'll get easy invaded, and stuff like that. Yeah, got the people, whatever militia, but man, where's that movie called? It's one of those old movies where it showed Russians and.
Oh,
and
you're talking about the one with Patrick Swayze and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I think it was
Red Dawn.
Yes, Red Dawn. There we go.
Yeah, 1982 or 1983. I can't remember, but that was a really good movie.
And it's you got to protect our freedom and like it could happen. It could happen if
no doubt.
If the government decides, hey, you know what? Screw you people, screw you companies. You deserve this. So yeah, it's a love and hate. One needs the other one to both, to survive. Capitalism needs to basically survive, basically.
Right. All right, Tino, I'm going to let you go.
Hey, awesome talking to you, man.
No, thanks for calling. Thanks for taking 20 minutes to talk to us. I really appreciate it, and giving us a lowdown. Make some videos for us around Seattle, and just send it to me here on Skype.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, man.
All right.
Hey,
bye. Gracias, Cuidado, Cuídese.
Adios.
That is my man Tino C in Washington, in Seattle, Washington State. Luckily, he hasn't lost his job, so he's doing okay. So Oregon. All right. So let's cut through this a bit. We'll get another caller on in a few minutes here. So this is what Zero Hedge is saying. 304 more COVID-19 deaths reported in New York City as U.S. braces for the 7 days of hell. Where is this? This is where the world is on the Covey curve at the moment. Okay, let's see this. I want to see the Covey curve, guys. Yeah, so here it is. Italy's up here, Iran's up here, Korea's up here. So everything, so if you guys see this map here, and China's down here on its way to recovery, weeks. We're talking weeks here. So the latest we could see going back to work, somebody asked in the comments, when are we going back to work in Canada or probably the United States? The latest figures from what I've been watching is November 2nd, 2020. November 2nd, 2020 will be the latest we would go back to work. According, if these curves are right. So, but the problem is we don't know what's happening in China. That's the problem. And North Korea. We don't know what's happening in those countries. So we're not getting, like, I heard North Korea has no cases too, because I guess you can't even go to North Korea. From Bill Gates just reveal on the real reason behind the lockdowns. Eventually, whoa. I saw something here. Let me go back. I saw it there. It's just a blurb. Eventually, we'll have certificates of who's recovered person, who's vaccinated person, because you don't want people moving around the world. This digital immunity proof will help facilitate the global reopening up. The global reopening up. There it is, guys. Right here. This is it. Bill Gates just revealed the real reason behind the lockdowns. Here it is. Oh, this is from YouTube. I can't play this. It's from TED Talks. Where's that quotation? You wrote the one in a century epidemic, but in fact, most people... I just want to see what he said. I just want to see that part that he said that people will be digitally immunized. So long. Okay, well, we'll take a look at this later. If we get some time, I might make a story on it. All right, what else we got here? Mysterious Colorado doomsday shelter for when the law order breaks down sees a spike in interest. Oh yeah, people are building doomsday shelters down there. I know it was big in Colorado for a while. They were building a lot of doomsday shelter around 2009, 10, 11, and 12. They were building a lot of shelters in Colorado. I think Colorado and Arizona and New Mexico are the three states with the most underground shelters, in my opinion, even more than all of California. How China's fake news machine is rewriting history of COVID even as the pandemic unfolds. Yeah, I covered that on the channel, guys, where China's now written a book. Yeah, listen, they wrote a book on how the virus was broken out by spies in China and basically ravaged the country, and the Chinese came in and saved the world, and that's how they saved Christmas. And now there's huge catastrophes in China, and a lot of them caused by the Communist Party. They clean it up and show the world how they saved the planet. It makes no sense. It's like starting a fire in your house, putting it out on yourself, showing everyone how big of a hero you are for putting out a fire. That's what China's been doing. All right. Oil glut is ready about a Saudi desire to crush U.S. shale. That's what it's really about. From nightmare to surprisingly seamless, small business owners described a COVID-19 bailout experience, and it's bad. Looting wave strikes New York City as Covey goes on lockdown. So here it is again, guys. People breaking windows and smash and grab places. New York Gazette store owners boarding up buildings across Manhattan. New York, a growing scene from those who venture out into the streets of Manhattan these days, boarded up storefronts from luxury retail stores to small businesses. There it is, guys. There it is, guys. So I'm going to read this later, this Bill Gates one. What's he got up his sleeve? We're going to get David on the show in a few seconds here. And Liam on the show. So we're going to get David on the show in a few seconds here. Let me just go over what Russia is saying. We need masks. We don't want other people getting it. Trump demands America first for medical supplies. Supply is piracy. There'll be a lot of death. Trump sends 1,000 of troops to COVID-19 hit states for the toughest 2 weeks. Trump brandished tariff baton at illegal OPEC cartel and vows whatever it takes, but no U.S. oil cuts. As an independent comic book writer, I won't cry as COVID-19 kills mainstream comics. Oh no. Oh, I never thought about that. Wow. So Iran develops homegrown AI software to speed up coronavirus tests. Good job on them. Saudi Arabia uses low oil prices to force U.S. to cut shale prices, but damage to all countries may prompt talks. So we'll keep you on the pulse with that. Let's move over here to Noticias de... Where is this? Is this Ecuador or is Peru? So in Peru right now, coronavirus in Peru, 2 y 3 de abril, 1,595 infectados infected, 61 fallecidos, so the 61 people died, y todo las noticias. So that's what's happening right now. So Peru is another country I'm following right now. And these are the confirmed cases. 932 men and 663 women are tested positive for it. And there's different areas in different states in Peru. So that's what's happening right now. So this is hitting those smaller countries there in Central / South America. So we'll keep an eye on what's happening there in Ecuador too. Let's move over to state-run Iranian state-run media and see what they have to say. Iran to introduce smart distancing in virus fight. Okay. Iraq's anti-terror forces vowed to end the U.S. occupation. Iran unveils AI-powered coronavirus diagnosis technology. G77 China urged to end the unilateral sanctions amid pandemic. Saudi rocket attack kills entire Yemeni family in Sadr. Trump warns look of death in the U.S. as COVID-19 cases up 300,000. So that's what's happening there in Iranian state-run media. So now that thanks to coronavirus, Tehran can breathe fresh air. And what do they mean? No traffic. Nobody's out. Nobody's burning oil. Al Jazeera. A lot of death ahead in the U.S. fight against COVID-19. Live updates. Coronavirus. New York registered record single-day death toll. Fury over Pokemon on French TV during China virus homepage. When sirens went off, I began to cry. China mourns virus deaths. Doctors note will it take so long for COVID-19 vaccine? We're looking at the end of September, maybe January next year. So right now, there's a new coronavirus spreading in China, like the people are getting reinfected. Liberia braces for coronavirus with defunct health system. So Liberia is pretty low down the list when it comes to COVID safety nets. So we got Lebanon easing currency to withdraw steps towards lirification. Brazil's legislator approved coronavirus war budget. And then a lot of oil wars. Lots of oil wars here on Al Jazeera. Let's move on. I can't believe this guy's still there. This guy, what's this guy's name? Why? New York has the most deaths. Why is this guy? Is this guy the fall? I know this guy is the fall guy. I've been saying this guy's been the fall guy since day one. Including more than 50. Can they get someone in there that knows what the heck is really going on and it can actually fix? But who cares? World Health Organization is tied to China, tied to the hip of China. Widowed and quarantined in Peru. Calgarian fights COVID-19. So people, if you're traveling, a lot of these people were warned. You're going to, Peru's not a hot spot. A lot of Chinese don't go to Peru. Well, look what happened. All right, let's get our man David on the show. See if he's doing okay. Where's this thing here? Where is this thing? Here he is. Let's see if he's okay.
Hello, Mike.
Yo, David, how are you, my brother?
I'm good. I'm just watching your show right now, but I think there's like a lag of 28 seconds.
Yeah, they always do that for safety
Okay.
reasons.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so what do you have for me?
Well, no, I want to ask you what's going on. What are you in isolation? How does it feel? What are you doing? Are you working?
Yeah, I'm working, but I work from home, and yeah, we're sort of like under isolation. Sort of like we're kind of forced into like self quarantine, but we're not like mandatory. But I did see a cop car in my neighborhood, enforcing things like social distancing, things like no large crowds and so on.
Okay, so they're trying to keep people apart. Have you noticed anything in the shopping? Is shopping okay when you go shopping?
Yeah, I went to No Frills like a few days ago. I think that was on a Tuesday, and they were enforcing the social distancing, like outside of the store, and they lined up, and well, we had to line up and keep 2 meters apart.
That happens at banks too.
Right. I didn't go to a bank
Yeah,
recently,
the
so
banks
I'm
too. I
not
mean,
so sure
banks are
about
doing
that.
that. I see that outside the banks in town. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you work from home. You're lucky. Are you is this psychologically bothering you yet, or are you a couple of weeks to go? Are you still tough?
For sure. I mean, human beings are social animals, right? Like, if you stay inside for too long, like in isolation by yourself, you're gonna go insane.
Yeah.
No question, no question. And yeah, for sure. I think one of my parents is like family friend. She said that she's been in isolation for a month and she couldn't take it anymore because it takes her longer to work at home than at her workplace. I guess it's all like because of the distractions that you have at home, and also the fact that I think has to do with like poor connection with like because like if you work at a large company, you have to have like remote access, and oftentimes you don't get too good of a connection when you try to work remotely.
So do you
But
feel like
most
a caged animal?
a little bit, yeah. But just because you are encouraged to stay at home, it doesn't mean that you cannot go out and get some fresh air and so on.
Are what are you thinking for this thing? Another 2 more weeks? Another month?
We're not like it's not 2 more weeks. It's more like 2 more months, I think.
2 months. Okay, so for
Yeah.
about 8 weeks.
I don't think we are at the peak yet.
Oh, we're nowhere near the peak. We're just getting
No, of
warmed
course
up.
not. No, of course not. Like in Toronto, I think we had like another 300 cases and then 25 more deaths. Yeah, like in Toronto, and four people die in long-term care home, and that's really bad.
It always starts like that. It started like that in China. It started like that in Italy. It started like that in France. It started like that in
Yeah.
Germany. It started like that in Portugal.
Oh, Mike.
Yeah.
Speaking of Italy, did you see the video that I shared with you via Skype? This guy from Japan, Nobuta from Japan. He had like an interview with this girl, Eriko, I think that's her name, and she shared her experience regarding COVID and what's happening in Italy. So essentially, what's going on with Italy is that they have pretty similar proportion of like elderly. Like Japan has like around 28%. In Italy, it's around 23. And did you see the video though? I
No,
want to ask.
I just saw you on my comments that you messaged me.
Okay.
And I said, oh, I'm gonna have him on the show because he messaged me a few times, so I'm gonna give him a call. It's been a while,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. So
But
okay.
I
So
get
I had. Okay. Okay. So I had a chance to watch the video, and basically what she described, the difference between Japan and Italy is that, even though, like, let's say you live in Japan, right? Like, let's say Tokyo, even though you live in a densely populated city, people don't really talk so much with each other on like subway, for example, and people wear masks all the time, even before the pandemic took place, especially during the winter season. I think it's like a very good, like, this is like mostly cultural because Japanese people, it's they're very well prepared. They have this, I think, in a way, because I was from China, and so I kind of understand, like, Japanese culture, Chinese culture, they're very similar, and they have this strong sense of social responsibility
Right.
from a very young age. Like, in China, we don't have a janitor, so we have to clean up the classroom ourselves. Like, in Japan, it's also very similar, but here in Canada, we have, we hire janitors in school, and they do all the cleaning. So they, like, the kids here, they don't have that strong sense of social responsibility. That's my opinion. I don't know if it's true, like in all of Canada, but that's just based on my experience. And I think it's because of this. Can I call it social conditioning, or whatever, like conditioning, this upbringing, that I think Japanese people, they have this sense of responsibility that the group is bigger than the individuals, and so I think it's because of that, like this cultural thing, this habit, that they're able to contain it. Like, I think they have around 3,000 cases. It's 3,000 is still a lot, but it's much better than what's happening in Canada.
Well, here we go. But the deal, yeah, yes. But I think in the case in both countries, they're very under tested, because there's quite a few people, like that first person or the second person from west of Sydney that came on the show. I don't know if you remember, and he went to the hospital with a lot of really bad problems, like breathing problems, coughing.
Right.
And they told him that they wouldn't do a test on him because he's never been overseas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was the second caller. I don't know if you heard him. But
I think I missed it because I didn't expect that you would start the show that early, because I think I got on at around 11:19 p.m. in my time. So that's like 8:19 p.m. in your time.
I started like about 8 minutes earlier, and then I had to,
So I don't know. I think I missed.
Just go back later to the beginning of the show. You'll see.
Oh, sure.
What he said. He waited in this huge lineup in the hospital, and he has and he's very sick. And luckily he's not alone. He's got his brother and his mom, and it's really good. At least he's not by himself, right?
Yeah. Okay. That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So
yeah, like but like what I said, I think Japanese people, they have a sense of social responsibility. They're prepared all the time. They have this like habit of washing hands. Like, compared to people in Italy, it's like complete opposite, because from what I saw on that video interview, it's like in Japanese, but they have like English subtitle.
Right. So
like people in Italy, they like to shout with each other. When they speak with each other, they stand in a very close proximity, and so
it's
easy
different
for them to. Yeah, so it's different, and they have a very strong sense, like family value, and so like when the grandson visits their grandparents, and the younger people, when they get it, it's like, what do you call it? The asymptomatic spread? What's that scientific term? Like you get the virus, but you don't know that you have it because you have no symptom, and then you're able to spread it to the elderlies, and then the elderlies, they talk with other.
Well, we're getting different cases down in Ecuador. We're getting like 25-year-olds dropping dead in the street.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, because because it has to do. I think a lot of it has to do with food. The food that we eat compromises our immune system, and I'm not surprised that some 25-year-old. Did you see the article? This 25-year-old went to Miami partying for like a week and a half.
Yeah,
and
we
came
covered
back.
that here twice.
Okay.
We
Yeah,
covered that, and we
like-
covered the other guys from University of Texas that went down
Yeah,
to Mexico.
That guy looked fit, but just because you're fit doesn't mean that you're healthy. That's just my theory, because bodybuilding does not guarantee that you have good health.
No, of course, bodybuilding is just to
good-
build your
yeah.
body, the outside of your body, not the
That's
inside.
right. Like your intestine, like you build body, right? You gain protein, you eat meat, but that food that you get, well, it's gonna rot inside your intestine. So, like just because you look healthy, you've bulked up, doesn't mean that you're actually healthy. So
Right.
yeah. But yeah,
Anything else,
So-
David? Tell us one more thing, and then I'm gonna let you go because I have to go over a
Alright,
bit more news.
One more thing. What do you want to ask me?
Do you know? Do you have any friends or anybody you know that has COVID-19? Because I had a friend, a classmate, pass away a few
Yeah,
days
I
ago.
heard. Yeah. Not that I know of.
Okay.
No. But let's just keep it that way. Like, I don't think we would want any more like death. Like one death is one too many. Honestly.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
David. You take care. You stay out of trouble,
Yeah.
okay? And keep us
Thank you,
keep us up to date on what's going on, eh?
Sure. I'll message you on Skype.
Yeah. When I get some time, I'll go through some of them. I got yesterday. I got over 200 messages. So it's like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's this video that I wanted to show you. It's called I Peggle 2. It's like this animated film. It's kind of like predicting what's gonna happen.
Really?
The video was.
When was it released?
It was back in 2012, 2013.
Okay, then send me a link for it, or put the link inside the comments here.
I already okay.
Put it in the comments for everyone to see it here in the show.
Okay. Sure. Okay.
All right, David. Thanks so much, buddy.
Right.
Take care.
Thank you, Mike.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.
That's our man, David. All right, so, man, we're flying high. We are flying high. Where are we? First hour? I even closed my clock here. I'm not even clock. Okay, first hour. Let's do a quick channel plug, guys, here if you want to support the transmission, guys. Where the heck was... I want to thank all the super chatters out there. People sending me money on super chat. Thank you so much. Guys, if you go under community here, there's the link for Contaminant, the full movie. I have it here. It's unlocked. You can watch it. It's got 3.2 million views. There's the Contaminant, and 19 hours ago, I asked, I've spent most of my lockdown praying 9%, reading 12%, with family 37%, 21% playing video games, and 21% freaking out. And guys, don't forget, I threw out a new show there. I'm not sure I don't know if I'm going to continue with it. It's called Making Sense of the News. It's a new show that I started. Here it is. There's an episode right here. It's called Making Sense of the News, which is trying to make sense of what they're trying to tell us, basically, in the news. What's the end game? Check it out. It's on the channel. It's called Making Sense of the News, and it's called Cocaine Background Noise. You want to watch this one. It's actually kind of weird. Kind of the way things fit together there. Oh, we got the McChronicle, and thank God the Chronicle's here. BB, Spiffy, I have you on Skype. You want to call in or what? Come on, call into the show. Don't be scared. Oh, we got a Ashima here. She just sent. I'm just going through the messages. She's saying there's this. It's called Fever Tree, premium Indian tonic. Guys, take a look at this. Not sure. No, don't know much about it, but here it is, called Fever Tree, premium Indian tonic water with natural flavors, including natural quinine, no artificial sweeteners. Fever Tree, guys, check that out. That's from Ashima. Calls in on the show regularly. We got Liam here sending me a bunch of stuff here. So, guys, don't forget to support. If you want to buy me a coffee, go on Patreon. Link up top here on the top right. Go ahead and buy me a coffee, $1 a month. Pick up this t-shirt, man, on Teespring. It's so good, man. So good. It feels good. It feels like a soccer jersey. It stretches. It says Mike on the night on the front here. Look at that, Mike in the night. And it says it on the back too. It's pretty pimped out shirt, man. It's pretty pimped out. My son wanted one, so I ordered him one. Wow, I got like lots of messages here. Guys, follow me on Facebook, and you could always tip me on PayPal. All right, second hour in the 28th minute of the hour, Mike in the night. All right, who we got called? Who we want to call? Who do we want to call? I tried. Let's BB, are you there? I know I saw you in the questions, in the comments. You can't hide from us. Different caller, new caller. Let's go. Pick up the phone. There, it's ringing. Pick it up. That's for the CPP.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, BB, what's up?
Let me just check on my sound here.
Hey, you sound perfect.
Sorry, I'm having trouble hearing. Okay, I can hear you now.
Perfect. So I saw you, you sent me a few messages there on Skype. So I wanted to ask you, are you self-quarantining? Are you working? What's the deal?
I am self-quarantined because I'm actually a lash artist. So all of the personal services here in Vancouver were told to shut down around March 20th. I shut down probably around 2 weeks before that, knowing full well that everything was about to kind of take off. So I kind of started gearing up for the shutdown, and I'm just staying at home pretty much.
How long you been home? Second week? So what, 3 weeks now? 2 weeks?
Pretty much, actually, from the beginning of February, I really slowed down anything like going out and whatnot, and I actually stopped taking any new clients. And then into the beginning of March, I actually entirely almost stopped seeing clients entirely for like doing my lash business. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So lash business is like eyelashes and stuff?
Yeah,
cool.
I do lash extensions. So, yeah.
Cool. Okay, so are you stocked up? Are you okay, or?
Yeah, I kind of been watching your channel for a while now, and like, it's kind of something you kind of feel like you hear people that are preppers and stuff throughout life, and I feel like it's kind of something my mom always talked about, just be ready, know how to kind of stretch food and pay attention to what's going on. It's not as though I feel as though I can really do much other than kind of do my part, so that's where I'm at. Yeah.
And how is this hitting you psychologically now?
Oh my goodness. Well, actually, it's quite a lot, because I mean, like, as I said before, I was kind of starting to really reduce my outings and going in public and stuff prior to everything actually getting shut down here. So for me, it's kind of been a little back and forth. I'm getting rambunctious. I was even saying to the boyfriend today about how I'm starting to get pent up, and I need to like do laps in the yard or something. So yeah, it's definitely a lot here. It's kind of, you can't really go too much for a walk just because there's so much going on, and like construction and everything locally is all in full swing. So I actually live right next to a site, so there's always people coming and going, and so it's pretty busy still where I am during the day. But in general, I've definitely noticed, we took a drive out to West Van yesterday just to try and find like a nice peaceful spot. And usually in the past, I had actually worked out a lot in West Van from construction before. The drive would be like an hour at 3:30 in the afternoon. And for us, it really only took us maybe a half hour, 45 minutes to get home towards Coquitlam. So for me, I was just floored that traffic has reduced. But it just shows again that people are doing their part and trying to stay home, it sounds like. So
right.
Seems like.
That's good. Well, it's good at least you read. Pick up a few books.
Definitely. I have a few Alan Watts in store, so be reading into that to try and help get my mind in a better, more positive place, because it's definitely something that's people really have to pay attention to, is just where your thoughts are going, especially in times like these. Like, earlier you were kind of saying about the unknown and not knowing. And I think that's part of being prepared is, you don't know what the next 6 months are going to be like, or even the
Yeah,
next year.
our first caller from New Zealand was saying that.
Yeah, definitely. So it's, for me, I've kind of written off the summer, and, you can't really plan anything until you really know, I think, that this is going to be over, whether it be, I don't know, a vaccine or everyone gets it and becomes immune. There's nothing I feel like you can really do about it as an individual, I would say.
Someone's asking a question in the comments. How are you covering the rent?
I'm very fortunate that I actually have a partner who is still being paid. He
Okay.
works in the film industry,
Okay.
and they all got put off work right away. Luckily, the company that he's in is like more lights and cable, so they actually have all their workers like being paid time off right now. No one's like laid off or had to apply for anything. So we've been very, very fortunate for that, but it's definitely something that I've always had to think about in the past, because everyone always kind of says around here, at least, that people are only like 1 or 2 paychecks away from financial disaster in reality for a lot of people.
Well,
So
$200.
yeah, 1 day of missed work can honestly make or break whether or not someone's going to make rent, right? So definitely, I'm very fortunate how I am. As I said, he's in the film industry, though, and that's something I've kind of watched your channel, and I said to him that film is probably going to be like entertainment and whatnot will be the first thing to kind of go, but who knows how long this will go on, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right. All right, BB from Vancouver. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
I want everyone to call in, especially first-time callers, to call into the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, no, thanks for coming in and telling us your story. Maybe next week we could follow up and see how those books are going if this thing doesn't lift.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I'll let you guys know what I'll be up to. So far, we've been doing home projects and started a ginger beer bug. So trying to keep doing something that's a little fun and exciting upcoming in the week here. So yeah, definitely.
Good for you. Stay strong, okay?
All right, you too. Stay
Thanks,
safe
bye.
out there. Bye.
That is BB from Vancouver. I saw her in the comments and I matched it. I look at the comments, then I look over to the Skype. I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, so today we've had people, first caller, South Auckland, then west of Sydney, Toronto, Seattle, Toronto, and Vancouver. Wow. What a busy night it is. Let's go over some of this real quick here. Men one day, women another, to reduce the COVID spread in Peru. Yeah, again, Peru limits who could leave the home. This is pretty bad in Peru, guys.
Making headlines in Lima, Peru this week, a Canadian woman suspected of having the novel coronavirus.
There's a lady sleeping right there on the floor.
Found lying on the street. A reporter gives the details in this live report. News that traveled all the way to Bradford, Ontario, and the home of Claudia Rivas.
She was coughing really bad. She had very high fever, but she was trying to isolate herself in the conditions that she could.
Rivas, a native of Peru with close ties to the country, learned the woman is from Ontario after the news stories zeroed in on her ID card. Jennifer Di Battista of Port Hope.
She's going to die because she looks very sick and she was really coughing a lot.
¿Necesitas ayuda?
According to local reports, it was a journalist who initially brought the woman to hospital with symptoms of the virus, but she was released. Media once again located her in a popular park appearing ill. Authorities were contacted and a team with full protective gear brought her back to hospital.
I was trying to take a good screenshot of her face, but it was difficult because she was just lying on the floor and she was sleeping, so you couldn't see really how she looks like.
Here at home, Rivas was desperate to help. She took to Facebook to post screen grabs of the young woman's face and began making calls, hoping to find her family.
We managed
Wow, that's scary, guys.
The mom was not really aware about this. She was a sweet lady that she's very worried and she was very concerned about her daughter.
Rivas was worried for Di Battista, knowing she was alone in a country under lockdown. Government in Peru enforced a mandatory countrywide quarantine to help stop the spread of COVID-19.
Well, that's what's happening down in Peru. Mexico official calls diet a factor as COVID deaths toll climb. Mexico City Mexican deputy Hugo Lopez Gateles Santa Ana said on Saturday that decades of poor eating habits in the country have created an epidemic of obesity, diabetes, and other related health complications that make its people more vulnerable to novel COVID. The Mexican Health Ministry has so far registered a total of 1,890 cases on the novel coronavirus and 79 deaths. So that's what they you know how Mexico's kind of slow motioning. We got to play this video again. I like this video, okay? Yeah, we got quite a few callers in. So we got callers from every country in the did we get everyone? We had New Zealand. We didn't get no one from the UK, from the common. We got everyone else. We got people from the States, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. We're just missing somebody from the UK to call into the show so we could get the entire Commonwealth. Let's get these guys. Let's see this again about COVID. You know, this whole COVID thing. So this is a new article. 28 spring breakers test positive for COVID. So it's getting bigger. This number of people are going to get bigger over time because sometimes it stays in you. Some people show symptoms within days of getting it, and some people show symptoms 8 weeks after getting it. Yeah, 8 weeks. That's what the Pentagon was reporting on. All right, let's check this guys out. Yeah, Tino C is saying pinche gordos. All right, let's go here.
I get corona. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying. You know,
They're playing music. I don't want to get in trouble.
we've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while. About 2 months we've had this trip planned. 2-3 months. So we're just out here having a good time. Whatever happens, happens. With the bars being closed, you know, we'll find alternatives. Unfortunately, it does suck that the bars and restaurants are closed, but we'll find ways to have fun.
Parties and a half, man. Like, huge parties, man. Stay active, but stay apart. All right, let's do an update now on the COVID numbers. Let's refresh this. COVID numbers. What do we got here? Andale. Okay, 1.2 million. United States still leading the way with Spain, Italy, Germany, France, and China. United Kingdom. Oh, Iran and United Kingdom will pass China in about 4 days. I don't know if Turkey's being honest. I don't know. But I know Switzerland, Belgium, all these other countries are getting hit pretty hard. And it's becoming a world thing. So let's find our friends here in Iceland. Woo, Iceland jumped too. I remember when we were covering Iceland with one confirmed case. I got an email from a lady in Reykjavik, and she emailed me to tell me that there was a case in Iceland. And it was people from northern Italy that went skiing. And now they're at 1,417 confirmed cases. I actually really believe Iceland on this one. And 396 recovered, 4 deaths. So Iceland's doing the right thing. I don't think there's a lot of pollution in Iceland. That's the thing. So what do we got here? Yeah, Sanjay is saying India has more than 3,000. Again, detected. That's a big difference, right? There could be like 20,000 without knowing it, right? And then there could be reinfecting each other and reinfecting and reinfecting, and then mutating starts happening. So Lord Humong is saying UK led to 4,000 out. They should raid Buckingham Palace. Knowledge Seeker says holidays over in Iran and it's busy again. Gonna explode. Oh. It's busy again as in people going shopping and stuff? Like out in the streets and partying and going to restaurants? Yeah, I saw that. Steve Stevens in the comments says, U.S. authorities confiscated $1 million worth of 3M masks from a hoarder. I believe that. But if they paid for it legitimately and they bought it before the outbreak, right? And let's say they were just, like, you know, when you watch those TV shows like, this man has been collecting medical masks for the last 50 years. I mean, does that make him, like, could they confiscate it even though he bought them, let's say, over the last 10 years? So we are going here. So Grindhouse Cartoons is saying all of the world's dictatorship have the lowest number of COVID cases. That's a good one. Okay, so let's refresh this. We are 1.2 million, 64,000 deaths. So here we go, guys. USA, Spain. Let's look at the total new cases. That's what we're after right now. Who doesn't have any cases right now? Total new cases. All right, it's not updated. So total new cases. USA still taking the lead with 278 new cases. Mexico 202. Mexico is getting warmed up. They're just warming up their car. They just went out, put the key on, and got it started. USA is already on the highway on their way to their road trip. But USA is nowhere near their destination yet. They've got a long way to go. Then there's Arabia Saudi, then New Zealand, Saudi Arabia with 191, New Zealand 89, Australia 85, South Korea 81, China 30. China, man, they cured this, man. They even wrote a book in 30 languages about this, you know? Real German instincts to say Mike does not read. I read more. I read. Yeah, we got Anna Key in the house. 30 tons of supplies to China that included face masks in February. Nobody talking about that. No, you can't talk about that. The mainstream media in Canada is state-run media. There's no difference between the media in Iran and Russia than Canada. Wow, Rand Ross, send me $20. Asking me, Mike, at what point do you see civil unrest breaking out? From Rand Ross, 20 bones, man. That's enough for me to get to Atlanta. $20. Civil unrest? It depends. It depends, guys. Civil unrest depends. In the United States, people aren't going to fall for anything in the U.S. I think things will be put out real quick in a heartbeat in the U.S. before things take off. When it comes to people being taken away on buses and them shutting things down, and to a point where they start shutting down the internet and stuff. Once they shut down the internet, once they shut down the internet and give everyone free cable, then you'll see civil unrest. So you watch the cable and find out what's going on from your state-run media. And in Canada, there'll be no upheavals. You'll walk out, sun up in the air, birds flying by, kid riding the bike. Nothing in Canada. But in the US, there could be in some major cities. But if it does, if those checks don't go out, to those small businesses, medium-sized business, families and stuff, then you start to see the poop hit the fan when people can't buy food. So I'm giving it, if we don't see nothing in 6 weeks in the US of civil unrest in 6 weeks, then we won't see anything at all. People will kind of start to notice the deaths, start to notice the body counts, start to notice that things are not well. Because a lot of people are not going to go out and do a yellow vest movement or a big movement on the streets when they know they could catch this thing and die, right? Yeah, Tig Nim says Canadians will say sorry. But I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah, people will write when they have no food. And that's true. It's when they run out of food. When those checks don't get mailed out, then you'll start to see huge problems. And you don't play around with Americans, man. You don't play around with Americans when it comes to them feeding their families. You don't play around. In Mexico, see, Mexico is it's very loose when it comes to a lot of open land. When the further south you go in Mexico, to the central part of Mexico, lots of open land. So you could kind of bug out Mexico all year round, depending on how far south you are. In Mexico, you pretty much have summer all year. You could bug out in other parts of Mexico. So, Christina Flores is saying food riots with no TP. Jesse Flores says, once UPS stops delivering, then the SH hits the fan. Yeah. Once UPS and postal mail starts delivering, yeah, that's when things start to get out of hand. But like I said, I think the biggest one is when we're in the dark. And I'm not talking the power goes out. I'm talking about the internet goes down. And that's their time too. Hey, whatever happened to the Mike Martin's channel? Whatever happened to this channel? Whatever happened to this channel? Globetrotter Mike. Globetrotter Mike.
Hey, how you doing, Mike?
I'm doing good. How are you, my brother?
Good. I hope everybody's enjoying the free 60-day trial of communism here, eh?
Yep. So, where are you calling out of from? Alberta? Is it Alberta?
Yes, Edmonton, Alberta.
Edmonton. I'm just marking down all the cities that we're hitting today. Yes. We got Central Canada, Eastern, Western Canada. We got New Zealand, Australia, and two parts of the United States.
Quite a bunch. That's good. I like it.
Okay, so what's going on? What can you tell us, buddy?
Well, I have... what should I tell you? I found this... I was surfing the internet, and I will send you a link here. And I wanted you to check that out and tell me what you think about it. It's pretty scary stuff. Where's the conversation? Here we go. Let me paste this in real quick.
Was it a YouTube link?
No. It's not a YouTube link. It is. It's from the World Economy Forum for Strategic Intelligence, and if you.
I see it right now. I see it. I'm going to open it right now.
Yes, you can open that up. And let me refresh your live stream.
Okay, this is from World Economic Forum Strategic Intelligence. Global issue COVID-19. COVID-19 was first detected in China in late 2019. So it goes over what's happened.
Yes. Do you see that
circle?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, click on anything. The government response to COVID-19, workforce impact, or avoiding infection and spread, stuff like that.
All right, let's go to avoiding infection and spread, okay?
Okay, then you see all the blue dots. They are connected with that, starting with the future of media, entertainment, culture, values, global health, etc.
Yeah, I see that.
And then you go to the right-hand side, and you see the blue COVID-19 section there, and then on the far right you have a scroll button. You can scroll that down, and you have the parent topic.
I see it here. Publications, videos, and data.
Right.
And then
so
to the...
pick anything and look at the date. It's the 3rd of April and the time. Just data need for public shutdown, for example. You click on that,
data needs for public shutdown. Yeah, I see it.
And then full article. You click on that.
Yeah.
And then you know what's coming next. So this goes 200 layers deep for each topic.
Holy crap. So I see it here, because
is...
when you're here, let's say we want to find a vaccine, right?
Yes, go ahead.
And then it goes to all this different areas here. Global governance, healthcare delivery, justice and law, future health and healthcare, inclusive design, corporate governance, global health. It goes into future of media. Holy crap.
That is really deep. And the other one here, what Trump needs to say, 3rd of April, full article. And there you go. What Trump needs to say. So
where is it? The 3rd article? I don't see it. Data, response.
It's
Oh, I see it. 5th down.
Yes.
All right, let's check it out here. All right, here we go. Sign up for free. This is from Project Syndicate. What Trump needs to say. There have never been a more important time since perhaps World War II for the President of the United States to bring the country together. Here is what he has to say. My fellow citizens, this is a terrible time for our country. And so this is a speech that he said the other day.
I guess so.
Yeah, COVID-19 is deadly, and it's likely taken. Yeah, this is exactly what he said like yesterday.
Yeah, why is this in this kind of circle? It doesn't make no sense to me. There's a lady. I will post her YouTube link in the comments, and she can explain that pretty good. The first 5 minutes are talking about religion and all this kind of stuff. If you want to enjoy that, go right ahead. If you jump to the 5 minutes and 25 second mark, there you can. She gives you a rundown how this whole thing works from the global elite and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So
can you put the link after inside if you don't mind? The comment section here for this thing you sent me here.
Sure. Sure.
Here, I'll put this link in right here, guys. This is called. Here, let me refresh it. It's called Strategic Intelligence. Okay, I'm going to refresh it so it's fresh. I'm going to put this in the link, guys. Bookmark this page here so you can kind of see, kind of look into the future with this thing. And it actually breaks it down so in depth here. The amount of layers, like you said, is just absolutely, it connects all the dots for you here.
Yes, and there's another thing I had to mention, and that is you can, if you want to have full access to this website, you have to register, right? Like you open an account with them, so you name it there. Use a fake email or whatever you want to do, or don't. You have only limited access to this kind of information, and what I showed you right now is public, but there are certain sites that are blurred out and you don't have no access to that. So keep that in mind as well, right?
That's a really good one. I really appreciate you sharing this with us. This is huge information. This stuff is what saved lives, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
We got Adam Atomatized Asteroid sending me $5 Australian, and he said, I just went shopping for a week of groceries. Fresh produce is plenty, but canned pasta and eggs, rice all out. Paper prod all out. So I guess toilet paper, cleaning products all out. Yeah, so that's what's happening in a lot of places, but the paper will come back. So don't worry. Masks, all that stuff is going to start coming back. It will come back. Thank you, Autonomized Asteroid, for that donation. All right, go ahead. Keep going, Mr. Globetrotter.
What the lockdown is coming more and more, locking up the entire world, and I think things are not going back as they were. Support small business, that what we heard in the radio and TV and whatever else. Small business are all closed, at least 90% of them. Therefore, the lockdown kills the small business. The middle class is going to die. And
this could be the coffin, the nail in the coffin for the middle class.
Yeah, and they create a handout state with social benefits, helicopter money, and so on. So, right. So easy to access, easy to apply. And with the definition of apply, if I look in Black's Law Dictionary, it says meaning begging. So who wants that?
That reminds me of what happened in Zimbabwe.
What happened in Zimbabwe?
Lots of helicopter money, and they ended up having to put notices outside their washrooms that do not use money as toilet paper.
Yeah, I sent you that last show. I sent you Wednesday when it was. I sent you a link from a crypto guy who said America is becoming Zimbabwe. So
it will. It will. I actually covered. I have a video on the channel that I actually covered this 5 years ago on the channel.
Yeah, they're printing money like it's getting out of style.
Oh yeah, they've been doing it for a while now. We've been doing. So you've been holding up. You've been doing okay.
Yeah, last time we spoke, I was at work, and right now I'm on call.
You're on call.
So, yeah, they call me when they need me, whenever that is.
Oh man, so
it doesn't matter. I sit home and can fix my house, so I have plenty of things to do. It's not that I'm bored. Yeah, my wife said I'm bored.
Good for you. Fix your house, clean up, organize. Just do things you normally wouldn't, so at least it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. But I got a question for you, and you maybe should shoot that down the pipe. So the question is, how many people are dying? Dying from the cause, meaning postponed operations. People can't see the doctor, can't get treatment.
Quite a bit. Remember, were you on the show? Were you? There's actually, I think there's we haven't reached yet the point where more people are dying at home than in the hospitals yet, because we haven't had a breakdown yet in our hospital system yet. The only breakdown we're seeing, what's happening is the complaints about protective gear. That's all we're seeing in every hospital. From hospitals in Ecuador, to hospitals in Belize, to hospitals in Canada, to hospitals in New Jersey. Every hospitals in Italy, they're all complaining about the same thing. And it's protective gear for doctors. I don't know. Is it, that's the one issue they're having, right? And I think once the hospital system starts to break down, I think it already has in countries like Australia, because I don't know if you were on the show when the second guy called in.
No.
You want to go back and listen to that second guy. He's very sick. He's coughing. He's throwing up. He's not feeling well. He's been like this for weeks. He's sweating, and he's not feeling well. And he went to the hospital. They put him in this huge lineup, and they wouldn't test him for COVID-19 because he's never been overseas.
Yeah, well, here's the question. We all hear they're testing for COVID-19. How good are these tests? I don't want to say there's no virus. But do they test for COVID-19 or do they test for the coronavirus? We have two different words with two different definitions and meanings.
Well, here's the deal, and I'm going to be really frank with you. They don't know what they're dealing with, Mike.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the red car syndrome, right? We count all the red cars, and now all of a sudden we count only the broken red cars. So, I mean, I maybe be pretty bold here or dumb, whatever, I don't know.
No, they don't know. They don't know what they're dealing with. I said this before, and I even said this like last week of December when we started talking about this on the channel. We were discussing this, kind of following it through, what's going down, and I knew right off the bat they had no idea what they were dealing with. I already knew it. I knew it.
Yeah, I agree with you on that part, definitely.
Yeah.
And now they're crippling the economy with don't know what they're doing. How professional.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Saying.
Yep. Well, we'll see what happens. It's a matter of time now. It's a matter of time. A lot of people will survive this, but the question is, now let me ask you a question, Mike.
Okay, I'll give it a shot.
How many people are going to get sick and die that don't have COVID-19, but they freak out because of all this crap and stress and depression?
I can't give you a number, but plenty, I would say plenty, because...
more than usual, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because of circumstances, long term. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably more than from the virus itself. If you, how we say in the army, you count the dead after the war.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
I'm just thinking, I'm just putting the numbers in my head, trying to make sense of what's going on. But yeah. Anyways, Mike, thanks for your feedback there. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Everybody should check that out. And if you start from the premises that the authority gives a shit about you, then there's a way to see the world and public statements with a different point of view.
That's correct.
All right.
All right, brother. You take care. Have a good night, okay?
Yes, you too.
All right. God bless.
Bye-bye.
That's Globetrotter Mike from Edmonton, Alberta calling in. Guys, we are not, I don't know how to say it. A lot of complaints in the comments, guys, that we have been, blocking people in the comments. We haven't. YouTube auto blocks comments. Okay, guys? Nobody is doing it. YouTube is auto blocking people's comments on here. If they swear or they say something, YouTube does it automatic. And then we go in and approve it. The moderators go in quickly and approve it. So, you know what I'm saying? So we got, we had Laila in the thing. I want to talk to her. I haven't talked to her in a while. I hope she's doing okay. I'm not sure where she is right now. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, autonomized asteroid. Yo, what's up, buddy?
Hello. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, man. You staying out of trouble?
Yeah, trying to.
Yeah, good to hear from you, boss. Yeah, I saw your comment in the thing. What's happening is nobody is purposely blocking people. It just comes up as blocked.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
I'm one of the moderators, like anyone with a wrench, and we just hit show. So it comes up with a thing now, and it says show or hide, and I always click show. Sometimes it tells me someone else already did it, so I did send an to German Instincts. I think the reason is because he's using swear words. I think the bot is basically trying to treat us all like little children, and oh no, don't see swear words.
Mm-hmm.
It's really dumb. It really is dumb. And yes, I'll do absolutely best not to swear on the show.
That's fine. That's fine.
I do have some. Yeah,
Hold on,
I have
before
some
we kick off,
information.
hold on a sec. Before we kick off, we got Kia Hog Dust in the comments saying, "Mike, I'm waiting for a woo." People have been waiting for a woos all the whole show. Yeah, no, I was pumped up, and then I got a few kind of depressing callers at the beginning of the show. I don't know if you caught them.
No, I just got back from a big grocery shopping. So
okay.
And by the way, I know I rang in. Laila should come on next. Apparently, she's in high demand in the chat. I'll make myself quick and then make myself scarce so you can get Laila on.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell us, brother,
Right,
what's going on?
Well, okay. So I just finished listening to the latest stream from Stefan Molyneux, and he had a guy on. I think this guy was in South Korea and now he's in Japan, and he laid down his expertise because he is actually a scientist as to his theory that the Corona-chan is basically it might be in some cases traveling the nervous system, and he has a lot of expertise in Tourette's, and he thinks that from what he's seen from other doctors talking about it, the behaviors that some of these patients are exhibiting, and like in the hospital, as well as videos of people purposely spreading the virus. That he thinks that it might be affecting the same kind of messaging system in the nervous system, and it is causing people to cough, or like it's how when a doctor hits you on the knee and you go knee jerk,
right?
It's signaling coughing, so that might be why you cough so much, and that is part of the virus trying to spread. Another thing too is involuntarily spitting. He thinks that that's a lot of that. He might be confusing that with the Chinese culture of spitting, so I don't know if he was right on that one, but yeah.
Did you hear that one? Hold on. Did you hear that one about that lady, that flight attendant from American Airlines that was flying from Chicago? She had this brain issue that was building up on the front of her brain, like up at the top.
Yeah.
You heard about that?
Yeah. So this guy, he also said that when it travels further, it's going to affect the upper midbrain. So there you go. There's something. I didn't even think to mention it, but you just said that. So I'm like, oh yeah, well he was talking about the front brain. So there you go. Could be a thing.
So that is a huge issue because that is causing in some cases, they're saying that like flash anxiety attacks and stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I have no idea about that one. I did some research last night after
Tell us, please.
listening to a couple of other videos. So I don't know anything about panic attacks per se, but there was one thing I heard about one guy talking about the nervous system, and that the brain might be having an auto reaction, how to explain it? Because I didn't quite understand it because it was going over my head a little bit. So I don't have any degrees on this stuff, but what he was basically saying that when the nervous system is under attack, it can cause the brain to react in a very negative way, causing stress. When you increase the stressors in the nervous system, it could cause issues with breathing. Because one of the things this guy mentioned was that it's the first area it attacks is part of the system for regulating breathing, and that if you feel that, if you hold your breath and then you get that hot feeling in your chest, you could easily mistaken that for panic attacks, which is true, right? You have a heart attack or you have a panic attack, people describe it feeling the same.
Yeah.
So that's my theory on that. The other one is, what were they called? After the show, don't go do it now, obviously, because you're listening to Mike in the Night, but do it later. Let me just go to the YouTube because this word is, I've never heard it before, so it's in my history here. And people should search this word, write it down, guys, and check this out. So it's where is it? Come on, history. You know, I sometimes I reckon that they've taken things out of my history. I swear to God.
Well, if you find the cure for cancer in your history, it's gone.
That would be about right, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's so apparently a lot of people reckon that the virus is not viruses don't exist. Have you heard about this thing going on right now? People are saying the viruses don't exist.
Dude, they're trying to say now Jesus never existed. You know what I'm saying?
I know, but apparently there is 2 doctors going around talking about this, and they're saying that they're citing something called an exosome. So write this down, guys.
I'm writing it down. Go ahead, tell me.
Yep. EXOSOMES. Exosomes. So there's something to research. Now, that's where it's coming from. And the guy is called Dr. Paul Cottrell. And there's another response to, so Dr. Paul Cottrell has responded to Dr. Kaufman. It's Kaufman. So Dr. Kaufman is the one who's pushing the theory that the virus doesn't exist and that this is all a scam because of exosomes. Now, Dr. Paul Cottrell responded to that, saying that the guy's wrong, but his theories are sound. So it's not that he doesn't know what he's talking about, is that he doesn't know everything.
Right.
Well, okay, I mean, that's the human condition. No one knows anything, everything, sorry. But so this is interesting. You guys could look into this.
Mm-hmm.
But the theory that the test, so the COVID-19 test, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to give you a false positive if it picks up the exosome, which is very similar to the COVID-19 virus.
Ooh.
And so that part of it is true. So Dr. Kaufman is right, okay, about the exosomes. But I still believe in infectious viruses. So, but you guys can make up your own mind. I mean, we're all about spreading info, and you just make up your own mind on this. But absolutely, exosomes are very similar to coronaviruses. And so you might be completely negative and healthy, but you'll get a positive test. And so the testing is a scam, honestly. That's what I think. Like knowing that. So be careful then, because my theory is that if you get a positive test, you're going on a database and you're going to get looked at and tracked and possibly even forced to have the vaccine and all these other things. So my guess is I don't want to give anyone advice because that's dangerous for the YouTube channel.
Yes.
But me personally, I'm not going to get a jab, if you know what I'm talking about, because I also don't think that there's going to be any efficacy in that, especially being that they're rushing it through without doing double-blind and triple-blind studies. That makes me nervous.
What do you think of that CRISPR, that...
CRISPR.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything much to say on it other than I know that the Chinese have done it once on a child, and the last I heard was the child had a lot of bad complications, so probably not a good idea. And maybe we shouldn't be playing, I mean, some people would say it's playing God. I think that it's too soon to be doing things like that because we don't, sorry, go on.
I just need to ask you this. This is kind of very important, actually. Are you going to pick up the book, how China, basically the coronavirus was brought in by a spy and then China saved the world, and they're writing this book on how the CCP is writing this book on how they saved the world and saved Christmas. Are you going to get that book?
No. I hope no one believes in that.
No, I know, but I want to buy it, and I actually want to buy it. I was trying to see if it was on Amazon, but it's not on Amazon yet. So I want to buy it and actually like read it out on the channel.
How on earth did they write that book so quickly?
They wrote down the book on how they save the world and how China causes a majority of these problems and then ends up wiping out a percentage of their population in fixing the problem. And then they go ahead and write the book how they won the war. And not only that, they saved Christmas at the same time.
Well, it's like Mao with the Little Red Book. It's the same sort of silliness. It's all propaganda, and I think that the world is starting to realize this. We've got a lot of nationalism going on around these days. By the way, have you spoken about the possibility of WW123? I'm trying not to say it directly because it might
World War III?
Yes, then you just go out and say it. Okay.
That's fine. World War III? No, it's going to be a little bit different. This is going to be more a war, an information war. It's going to be a virus. It's going to be more virus. It's going to be more bio. It's going to be more advanced than just shooting bullets on a battlefield.
Well, you know that Venezuela sent an oversized Tini out to shoot at stuff and ram into a cruise ship liner, right?
Yeah, Venezuela has been up to no good too, but they've been under the gun for too long, and they've been accused of things they never did too, right? So
I know. So well, the things are ramping up in that area, and it's got like people like Tim Pool and whatnot freaking out. I watched his little clip from his live stream, and he's like having a big freak out over it. He went into a whole bunch of mainstream stories as well that are painting a very, very dire picture. So that might be something for people to look at if they still awake after the show and you're still awake after listening to Kaufman and Petrel there. I've given you all a bunch of stuff to look at, and I think if there's nothing else, I guess I'll hop out of here and you can get Laila on.
Yeah, we'll see if we get Laila to call in. I see her in the comments there. And, we'll talk very soon. Thanks for all the updates. I appreciate all the updates, eh?
Yeah, I don't come on every week because not every week is interesting. I try to keep them interesting when I come on, so, yeah.
Yeah. All right, I appreciate that. You take care now, and thanks for your donation. God bless.
Yeah. Get yourself a nice coffee. All right.
Well, thank you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Woo! Okay, I'm in a better mood now. Woo! All right, where we at here? All right. Let's see if Laila, I don't have her thing. I don't have Laila. I have her old phone number, but that's broken because she doesn't, let me see if I can get the guy from Japan on. Let's see if he can pick up his phone. Nobody home. Nobody home. All right, so I want to... Anna Key in the house. Rock Hill in the house. Tina Flo still in the house. Holy crap. A lot of people have been here for 2 hours watching this thing. Adamaz Asteroid. Woo! No, I'm going to pick up that book. That book that I did it on my channel here. I talked to you guys about this. I even made a video that China is basically wrote a book. They saved the world and how they saved the world and all this stuff. And here it is. CPP saved the world. How China saved the world. World hero. Here it is right here. I got my son on the show with me there. And it's basically explaining oh, we got Liam. Liam, how are you, my brother?
Okay, how are you?
I'm doing fine. All right, what do you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, I'll send you a bunch of links.
Let me go to the chat right here, bud. All right.
On Skype.
Oh, it's a YouTube video.
Yeah, there's loads of different things. A lot of them is Twitter and things like that.
Let me open the Twitter one because I could open that one. It's the YouTube ones. I usually get in trouble if there's... So this is Project 2501. What is that?
Which one have you clicked?
Project 2501 on Twitter.
Is that the first link that you clicked on?
Oh, it's the media talking the same thing over.
Oh, yeah. Have you seen that before?
Yeah, I saw this before. They're all talking at the same, hi and welcome and good afternoon, breaking news today, and then the other next person would say, the next person would say it, then everybody will say it at the same time.
Yeah, so it's just the point of, everyone's just repeating the same script that's been given to them by whoever. And all the mainstream media is repeating the exact same script.
Well, it's back to, can you explain to us, you sent us one here with Bill, is that Bill Gates?
Yeah, Bill Gates.
Can you explain to us what he meant in that article from Zero Hedge? I have it open here. He said basically, here, I'll read it for you, and maybe you could tell us what he means by it. Hold on, let me open it up here. I have it open, but I want to go back. Bill Gates just revealed the real reason behind lockdowns. He's talking about a virus that's like a digital type of virus or injection of some sorts.
Okay, I haven't seen I haven't read the full article, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, it's right here. It's a long article though. It's really long. And there's
what he's explaining on that Twitter link I just sent you.
Mm-hmm.
What Bill Gates is explaining is that I think I sent it to you. Basically, he's saying that until everyone is vaccinated, social gathering activities will not come back at all.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly. The article that I have here from Zero Hedge, now I'm remembering what it said. It said basically that people will not be allowed to go in public without their updated vaccination, updated in vaccinations, and they won't be allowed to fly if they're not updated in vaccines. Yeah.
So that Twitter link actually has the voice and video of Bill Gates actually saying that.
All right, let me open it up here.
Able to play it or not.
All right, let me open it up.
Like schools have such benefit and can be done in a way that the risk of transmission is very low.
Yeah.
And which activities like mass gatherings may be, in a certain sense, more optional. And so until you're widely vaccinated, those may not come back at all.
So how?
Oh, they won't come back at all. Oh, that's from Lionel.
And the government now.
Lionel. I like that guy. He's usually on RT.
Yeah, I like him.
All right. And you're in Southeast Asia. What's going on there? Are things starting to quiet down? Are you seeing more
stricter controls? There's a curfew now. You're not allowed to leave the house from 10 p.m. till 4 a.m.
Oh my God, they're putting in curfew. Okay, continue.
And pretty much travel between different provinces is restricted. You can do it, but you need to answer a bunch of questions and get harassed by, checkpoints and things like that. But yeah, the tightening down. But the first video that I sent you, that is a YouTube video that you can open, but I wouldn't advise you to play it, is a new movie that's coming out that's all about asteroids. It's one of those end of the world.
And they made the pandemic video just before the pandemic, and now there's an asteroid movie coming out, and we discussed this Mike in the Night and the last Mike and the last Mike in the Night. We've been following that asteroid that you sent me. Let me open it up, guys. So Liam has been following this asteroid for a while now that hit Earth, and there's one heading towards Earth. I want to find the one you sent me that's heading towards Earth. And it's kind of weird and scary that the day after you send me this, that there's an asteroid coming towards Earth. It's the 211ES4. It's going to pass between Earth and the Moon, and it's going to arrive on, what was the date here? It was on the, hold on, it's on the other one. Hold on. April 29th. It's going to be...
Yeah, there's a few of them. But the one that's going to go between the Earth and the Moon is September the 1st. That's the closest approach of any of these asteroids. But there is a bunch of them coming.
Yes. And that's another thing, too. Like, holy crap. That could shut down infrastructure like electricity, running water, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Why doesn't the mainstream media just tell? Well, it's kind of obvious why they won't tell you, because it will panic the people, right? So, Like we can deal with it. We can deal with knowing these things, right? But do you think the average Joe could deal with it? I don't think they could.
No, I don't know. It depends where it hits too. Like if it hits in a very populous area, and depending on how big this thing's 2 miles wide, this thing could wipe out like a good chunk of a state, right?
Well, even if it doesn't hit and it just, crashes through a bunch of satellites and knocks out all the communications and things like that, right? It doesn't have to hit. It's just, I don't know much about EMPs, but can mess with the electricity grids and things like that, right?
Even a mass corona ejection from the sun could do that too.
Yeah, exactly.
So, guys, if you thought you're out of the woods with COVID and you're hunkering down, you got your food, you got your pretzels, you got your Pop-Tarts, and boom, asteroid coming towards Earth. It doesn't end, man. It doesn't end. Now, how are they gonna? Now, this is the most important question I'm probably gonna ask you tonight. How are they gonna flip this asteroid on global warming?
I don't think anyone cares about global warming right now.
I understand that, but they're going to flip this on global warming, right?
Possibly.
Dude, Magic Johnson goes to the washroom. They start tying it to global warming.
Yeah. I don't know, man. There's so many twists and turns with what's going on right now. You know what I was thinking as well? The times that we're going through right now, do you think that, everyone will be talking about it in 100 years, right? Oh, the 2020 pandemic, global crisis. And we're living through the times that normally, history books, we talk about, the Spanish flu and all these kind of things. We are living through that right now. It's kind of interesting to think that we are living through these kind of times. Mm-hmm. But I sent you one very important Twitter post.
Oh, okay.
From the U.S., I think, Department of Justice.
The United States.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see that one.
I just got a YouTube video here.
It comes up as the name John B. Wells 1111 on Twitter.
I don't have that.
That's just at the top after the movie link.
Oh, John B. Wells. There it is. Okay, here it is. Let's open this puppy up. Let's see what they're saying here. What's this guy saying?
Well, it's pretty crazy, to be honest. It's about the USA spreading biological weapons,
Federal investigators
and
at
they've
the
arrested
Lexington home
people
of
in Harvard
60-year-old Dr.
University.
Charles Lieber today, moments after his arrest at his Harvard office.
It's basically, they're accusing the Chinese of spreading this virus. And they've arrested people, Chinese people in the university trying to take out vials of viruses out of the United States and sending them to Wuhan. But this is only a couple of days ago. It's extra compared to the Canadian arrests.
Signed a contract with the Chinese university.
I don't know if you remember the Canadian arrests with the lady who worked in
level 4 bio lab in Winnipeg.
Yeah, so now America is arresting and catching people in universities, and there's a head of I haven't looked at all of it. There's a head guy in the university who was receiving a salary from the Chinese government, $150,000 a month. He's been arrested.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they talk about it in that video. I don't know if you're able to.
Okay, let me play it. Watch out. Okay, hold up.
Months, plus up to $158,000 in living expenses.
The chair of Harvard's chemistry department, he also allegedly received more than $1.5 million to set up a research lab in China, all while working at Harvard and receiving multiple research grants from the U.S. Department of Defense and National Institutes of Health. Also charged today, 2 Chinese nationals, 29-year-old Yang Qingyi, who worked as a scientific researcher at Boston University,
who failed to mention on her visa application that she is also a lieutenant with the People's Liberation Army.
30-year-old Zhaozong Zhang worked on cancer research at Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center.
For trying to smuggle vials of biological material out of the United States to China and lying about it to federal investigators.
Now, Lieber is due back in court Thursday. He's currently behind bars. He could face up to 5 years in prison if convicted. And Harvard does tell me he's currently on paid administrative leave. Meantime, Harvard, Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center, and BU are all cooperating with authorities.
Okay, interesting. So they're going to get to the bottom of this over time, eh?
Yeah,
I got a link here, sent by someone via Skype. Thanks, Autonomized Asteroid. Autonomized Asteroid works in the background. All you guys work in the background of the show, sending in things and weighing in on the topic, eh? Mask raiders, French border guard sees two vehicles carrying 130,000 coronavirus face masks for Hero NHS medics. So they were going to send them into the hospital. They were bringing in, I guess, masks to the hospital for medics.
One good thing about masks in Thailand, they actually sell masks to the public. They are made in factories in Thailand, controlled by the government. You can go to designated stores in every town and city in Thailand, and you can purchase 4 masks in a pack. And it's those typical surgical masks. And it's 4 masks equals 4 masks for 30 US cents total.
Mm-hmm.
So, the government's doing something, they're controlling the masks, they're giving people, they're manufacturing them for their own people and selling them at a very reasonable price. So the one good thing about for Thailand government is they are keeping a handle on the mask issues.
Well, speaking of mask issues here, Germany says 6 million coronavirus masks missing in Kenya. 6 million.
I do believe that masks do help. Like, in the Western world, everyone's saying, masks don't do anything. But I believe they do, because you don't know if you have anything, or you don't know if the next person has anything. So if everyone's got their mouths covered, at least you're not going to be coughing all over everyone.
That's
right?
true. That's true.
And you're not, I don't know why the mainstream media a few weeks ago in the West was saying that masks don't do anything. Masks are worse. Having a mask is more detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that. I don't believe that.
No, I don't either. I know that there's some benefit for it. We got Lou Guy sending me $13.99 Canadian, saying this has been an entertaining and thought-provoking. Thanks. Lou Guy, thanks so much for the $14. And guys, please share this video, please. Share the videos. Right now it's live. Go to now. So share it right now. Go below this video. Share now. Get this out there. Okay, there's more links here.
Here's a quick question. So if they came out with a vaccine, right, what do you think will happen? Do you think people will rebel against it? Do you think there'll be riots in the streets? Or do you think they will have such a handle on it then the people will be lining up begging for the vaccine?
I got mixed feelings on that one. I'm not too sure, to be honest with you.
Because I think this is the next part, right? And we've discussed it before.
Mm-hmm.
They won't allow you to travel if you don't have a vaccine. I'm sure that is coming, that you won't be able to do international travel unless you have a certificate saying that you've took the vaccine.
That's exactly what Bill Gates said in that file there that I opened there from Zero Hedge, where he says if you don't have a certificate, you won't be allowed to travel. And then you won't be allowed into actual specific areas, like malls and certain areas will not want you in there if you don't have if they ask for your card.
Because in Asia, they're already doing this. They're saying that if you don't have a doctor's note saying that you've been tested for COVID and you've tested negative, then you're not allowed to come into the country. So they've already started implementing all of this in Asia. So you can't even board the airplane. You can't even get past the check-in counter without that certificate showing that you've had the test and you're clear. But you can't even get the test anyway, because if you don't have symptoms, they won't even give you the test. And I feel really bad for the guy in Australia. I really feel for that guy. And I put a comment.
I do. That was our second caller, remember?
Yeah. I put a comment in the video. I don't know if he saw it, but if he's still listening, I urge him to try and get some vitamin C, 1,000 milligram, very high dose vitamin C tablets, just to boost his immune system as much as possible. And anyone else out there that's looking to protect themselves naturally, very high doses of vitamin C I would recommend. I'm not saying it's a cure, but boosting your immune system is a very good thing right now.
I got an article here from Spain. El gobierno asume que Turquía se quedaron con respiradores que había comprado España. So it looks like that this is what they're saying. I'm not saying this. This article saying that Turkey apparently stole a bunch of respirators that were en route or on the way to Spain that Spain bought. That Turkey stole their respirators. Wow, how many? 150 of them were stolen.
Yeah.
I believe Spain won't just go on record, especially one of their foreign ministers here behind their flag, and go on record and just shout out a lie like that or make that up.
Didn't you hear the news about the United States diverted 3M masks back to United States or something?
Yeah, I think it's up here. Here, hold on, there's more. We are in a mask war right now. I just got from Automized Asteroid a million articles here. Why Chinese masks destined for Italy were seized, not stolen, by Czech authorities.
But there's another one, because I saw a news article where Thailand, Bangkok stopped a shipment heading somewhere, and they returned them to the United States on the request from the American government.
German 50,000, listen to this, 50,000 German masks stolen from German hospital warehouse. Holy crap.
Yeah, and they said that masks weren't very important, right, before.
Yeah, you said, it is important. But if they're not, and then they don't do much, why the heck are people breaking into warehouses and stealing them?
It's actually illegal to walk out of your house now in Thailand without having a mask on.
Well, in Thailand, like you said, it's a little bit different. The government there is supplying people with it at a fair price. Yeah. So there's no reason why people should not walk outside without a face mask.
Mm-hmm. And I agree.
Yeah. All right.
I gotta go. So,
yeah, I appreciate your input, buddy. I appreciate you. I'm just overwhelmed with all these links here. I appreciate you staying on board with me for a bit here, going over some of this. You have yourself a good afternoon, okay?
All right, thank you, and take care.
God bless. Bye. That's our man, Liam. So we're opening articles here. 50,000 masks stolen. So we're having a mask raid here. Not a masquerade, a masquerade. Germany faces backlash from neighbors over mask export ban. Thought masks did nothing. Well, that goes to show that masks do everything. Masks are worth their weight in gold right now. Yeah, they are actually. A kilo of masks. You're looking at a lot of masks. We got Nanny 14054 in the house. And from Australia, student there. We got, who else do we got here? Let me see. We got so many links here of just missing masks. Mossad officer describes covert global battle to obtain ventilators at all costs. Wow, they're fighting over supplies. Instead of countries building up their armies and building up all this other crap that means nothing, they could have made this, put it in storage, and have it ready for a day they will need it. You know what I'm saying? So it is something interesting. I want to get Laila to call in if she's there. I want to talk to her actually. Laila, where are you? I can't find her on here because her last number is not in service here, and then I think she changed it. So if Laila wants to call in, please call in. I don't have Layla's phone number. Skype, because what happened was I have it here, but it's not her. It doesn't work anymore. She had to make a new one. So I don't know where she is. I don't know what her Skype is. Let me see if I could find it the old-fashioned way. Oh, there she is. Hey, Laila.
Hi, Mike. How are you?
It's so good to hear from you. It's been so long. Where are you?
Thank you. I'm good. Yeah, I've been just around and traveling, and I've just been through so many different places that I couldn't really settle anywhere until just a few days ago, actually, when we found a place for my mom, and we just got to settle in. And I figured out the internet connection because it's a bit challenging around here, so I figured out some systems. So yeah, happy to be on the call. How have you been?
A bit good. Where are you?
I'm in my hometown, or should I say my dad's hometown in Syria. It's about 2 hours away from Damascus, towards the west. I think towards the west out of Damascus.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So you settled in. You're with mom. Everything's okay. What's happening with Kobe there? Are you noticing anything? I know you traveled quite a bit. Have you saw anything?
Oh my! I left Canada. No checks, nothing. I arrive in London Heathrow, the busiest airport in the world. Nothing. No tests, no flyers, nothing.
Not a flyer? They didn't give you a flyer?
No flyers, not even in Canada. The land of flyers, no flyers. And then I get to Lebanon, okay? And they stop us at the gates. You've got 2 nurses lining everyone up and taking temperatures. And before I got to Beirut, from London, the Lebanese who were lining up to get to Beirut, they were already with their masks. And then in Beirut, everywhere you went, everything that has to do with restaurants, hotels, and things like that, they had these sanitizers at the doors with a sign saying, please clean your hands, and so on. And then soon enough, within the week that I was there, they closed the restaurants and a lot of places except grocery stores. And then I crossed the land border because it's just not worth taking the plane between Lebanon and Syria. We usually do it by land. I crossed the land border from Lebanon to Syria. And there's about 30 meters between the exit office on the Lebanese border and the entry office on the Syrian border. And at each one, you had people taking temperatures and sanitizers, and people were really, really careful about all this.
Right.
So I was really surprised to see how much more effort our countries were doing as opposed to the first world. I was really shocked about them not taking any trouble people to ask questions, at least to put around some sanitizers, offer masks somewhere, because London Heathrow is one of the busiest airports in the world because of all of the connections that go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly enough, when I was in London, I touched base with a friend of mine that I hadn't seen in about, 20 years or so.
Wow.
Quickly for 15 minutes. And then a little bit later on during that week, when I was still there, he writes to me and he tells me that the HSBC building, which is where he works, it's a massive business building in London. It was shut down because one HSBC employee contracted.
I saw that on the news.
Virus. And this, right, bingo. So that was it. So I was there when that happened. This friend of mine happened to have shaken hands with so he writes to me and he's like, I have to tell you that I shook hands with this guy who contracted, and he told me that he was going to get tested and that he was going to let me know about what's going on and blah, blah, blah. So a bit of a fright there, but all throughout, I can't really say that I buy any of this. There are 2 scenarios.
Hold on, Laila, you're breaking up really bad. Laila? Hello?
Oh, okay.
You're breaking up really bad. Maybe go close to the Wi-Fi, or maybe go further by a window, or I don't know.
Okay, I am as close to a window as I can get. And can you hear me?
I hear you perfectly.
Try to call
continue.
back
Okay,
in.
continue.
Okay. So there's just two scenarios that I think run through my ideas or my head. It's the one that it was engineered, that it's a biowarfare weapon, the economy, all of that, and then the other that it's just that it's a complete hoax, and that there's just the other purpose that they want to reset the economy. And truly, as soon as it moved to North America, it was less than 2 weeks and they declared a recession, and you had these 6.6 million Americans on the street, and they didn't waste any time from the moment they announced the spread of the virus in North America to this whole economic disaster that we're now going through. So I really don't think that if there is a virus, I really don't think that it's as serious as people think it is. I think medically, all the ideas medically around it are super weak, very all over the place. They're not even telling us what they're doing to treat these people. What are they doing to treat these people? Do we even know?
Well, what I said earlier, and I think this is the, and I still stick with it, is that I honestly think that they don't know what the heck they're dealing with, period. So there is something going around. You know why? Because what piqued my interest in believing more that this is something serious was what's happening in Ecuador and Peru, right? So for Ecuador and Peru to stage what's been happening on the news, they would need a full Hollywood set. They need to bring in airplanes full of gear. They would need to set up lighting. They would have to, there's the bodies all over the streets in Peru. And no, in Ecuador, I'm sorry, bodies being left in front of hospitals and people driving away. Coffins everywhere, no one picking them up. But I'm not talking about 5 or 6 cases. I've been watching what's been happening in Ecuador in the last 48 hours. We're talking about like 700 cases they've been covering, like all over the city, with reporters and people coming forward and telling what's going on with their families and stuff. So if you, Laila, have a little bit of time, look at what's happening right now in Ecuador with the COVID. It's crazy.
I caught your video. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying things are staged. That's not what I'm saying. But if they were to be staged, I think, there are capabilities to do that. So, for example, a lot of the ISIS murders, like a lot of the beheadings and things like that in relation to ISIS, I believe were staged.
Sure. Me too. Yeah.
That's pretty easy. I think Hollywood has the capability to stage these things. I think they could have shot these, they could have shot these scenes a while back. I don't see why they couldn't have. I'm not saying that's what they did, but if you're questioning the logistics of it, I think it can be manufactured somewhere.
It could be manufactured, but the problem is here's the difference with this one. And again, let's go back to Ecuador and let's go back to Peru, and I'll explain to you why. It's because the dialect of the Spanish. In specific regions in those countries speak different dialects. So for them to actually stage something like that and to get someone from the proper dialect with the proper part of the country that speaks that, and to get different ones, and then to and to go to the other part of the country where they speak a little bit different Spanish and a little bit softer, or a little bit of a whininess on their words. It's very hard to do. Like, I could see that, but like it's like an Australian speaking English. You could kind of tell he's from Australia. That's how it is in Spanish too, with hundreds of different vocabularies. And I believe what's happening, and I'm following now very closely what's happening in Ecuador, because they told us from day one that this thing dies in the heat, but Ecuador is the closest you could get to the equator. And what the heck is going on? Why is it's hot there pretty much summer all year? Why is it spreading like wildfire there?
Well, I don't think the temperature thing, the heat thing makes sense, because what were they saying? They were saying that above 26 degrees Celsius, it tends to affect the virus, but our bodies are 37 degrees, so yeah. I don't really buy that argument. I think it's a bit weak.
The metal one, I believe, on stainless steel or metal objects, the virus could live for up to 4 to 6 days. I believe that I could see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. A lot of viruses are like that. They can live for a few hours, on surfaces on different places. Yesterday on Duke Willis's show, I came across something completely different. He was saying that some people are saying that what we're seeing is the result of the 5G rollout. And that really took me by surprise, because I never thought about it. And it is possible, because when you run these very high frequency networks or radiations, it affects birds. It affects, people have seen birds fall off the sky, things like that tend to happen. So I have to wonder if there isn't some truth to that. And we know that the 5G implementation is somehow connected with this whole situation, right? Everything from surveillance to heat maps. And, and a really interesting thing you should look up, and sorry, but just by the way, I'm not on your show right now. I'm just on Skype. I'm not able to see anyone's comments because I can't, I'm not using two devices. It just slows down my connection. What was it? The Google's Community Mobility Report. You have to look that up, Mike. They're running it using Google Maps for many, many countries in the world. They're using Google Maps to get a sense of the activity. So right now they're keeping it nice and clean, where they're just looking at restaurants and work and by how much this has decreased. So they took a baseline between, was it January and February? And then from there, you see the numbers just completely drop as soon as there's been all of these lockdowns and, shutting down businesses and all of that.
It's like when we were looking last week on Mike in the Night, we were looking at the TomTom maps and how the traffic in different parts of China went from like really busy and can't get moved to zero to like
exactly
zero on the streets. So we got Matthew Elio in the comments saying, "Holy ass, Ecuador is getting hammered with dead on the streets." Yes. So Laila, let's go back to 5G, okay?
Yeah.
Ecuador doesn't have 5G. I checked.
Well, no, you're not going to know that they have 5G or not, Mike. They're not going to tell you.
Okay.
It's just
I checked. I checked in their infrastructure, telecommunications infrastructure, and I looked at the biggest. Yeah.
No, it's too early at this stage to announce that. What they would do is they would set up the network first, and then they would run some tests, and then they would need to roll out services. Okay. And it's only after they've run all of this entire cycle that they would announce that they have 5G. It wouldn't surprise me that they're still experimenting with it. I mean, I know because I'm in telecom, and I know from my boss that it's still in testing phase, although a lot of our companies in Canada are rolling out the networks. And I think you can see it. I think you can see it on your internet connection in Canada, at least in Toronto. I'm sure in the other big cities as well, where you have an option. Let's say with Rogers, you would have an option to either go for the regular 4G or the 5G. I don't know if you can see that on some of the boxes. Mm-hmm. It would show up as a network on your phone. So it's being rolled out. But in Ecuador and other places where they're still rolling it out, if that's what's happening, I'm not saying, I don't know. It's just
it's a very poor country. So for a lot of them to the poverty is very high there. So I think 5G would want to target more places like Sao Paulo and bigger.
Well, no, I would say that's where you test it. That's where you test. Exactly. That's where you test the very high frequencies in poor countries. That's what they do with viruses in Africa and all sorts of other scenarios. Someone was flying around 7G in Egypt. Someone was telling me that they were testing 7G in Egypt. This is very, very dense country, very high population density. And it wouldn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. But no, 5G from a service, let's hook up our internet, Mike. It's more like a smart city 5G, IoT as an Internet of Things, high connectivity. They would test it in poor countries precisely because in wealthier countries, if people pick that up, there's going to be human rights tribunals and things like that. You don't have those things, right? Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. That makes absolutely perfect sense. Okay, continue.
That was one theory that I heard. I thought that was, I thought that wasn't bad at all because it was something completely outside the box, and I hadn't thought about it at all. It's a real biowarfare engineer thing versus an accidental flu, or it being a hoax. Regardless of which scenario.
Hold on. You're breaking up again.
The consequences are all the same. I'm breaking up. Okay.
Yeah. Give it a second, like maybe move around or something. Are you on the treadmill?
Yeah, I'm trying. No, I'm not on the treadmill.
Okay.
It's a good one. mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfect now.
How do I sound?
You sound good. I know.
Okay.
I know
all of us
you're in
know-
a foreign country because you know how I know? Because the echo in the room, and those homes are built with poured concrete and rebarb, and they're actually built strong. And when you echo in those rooms, is because it's the encasing of the cement, and those are really well built structures.
Yeah, I prefer cement, but it's also because there's nothing in my room. Like we just moved in and it's pretty empty. I've got a mattress and a heater. That's it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. So I was saying that, any scenario you look at, it almost like it doesn't matter. The consequences are all the same, are all one.
Mm-hmm.
Economic reset, there's the ID 2020 implementation. Look up .org, and that's connected to Gavi, which is the vaccine organization that sits under the Bill and Melinda Foundation.
Yes, that foundation. That's right.
So,
but I heard Bill Gates was stepping down from these foundations. Is that true?
I don't know if he would step out of the whole planet, honestly. I mean, he's such a criminal that he should just be hanging somewhere. He's a criminal on loose. He goes around openly saying that vaccines are going to help decrease the population. Like, what the hell does that mean, right? And maybe there's more and more awareness about his role in this, and so he would take a step back to prevent more problems in that regard. But yeah, he's a total criminal, this guy. He should really be taken care of.
Yeah.
But
hold on, you're breaking up. You're breaking up. Hold on, relax. It's breaking up pretty bad.
And the ID 2020 is underway. Interestingly enough, nowhere.
Hello? Laila?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. I think it comes and goes, Mike. You'll just have to bear with me.
Yeah. Because it goes blank. It goes completely blank, right? Hello?
Oh, okay. I can't hear me. Can you hear me, Mike?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay, it comes and goes.
Yeah. All right, continue. Tell us what's going on.
The ID 2020 is underway. The Gavi activities are all underway. Interestingly enough, on the ID2020.org website, nowhere does it say what the technology for the new ID will be.
Digital Identity Alliance.
ID2020.org.
Yeah, I'm here right now. Digital ID Alliance and the Digital ID vaccination chip.
So, right. So that's a problem. That's a real problem. To be honest with you, I feel safer in Syria than I would be in Canada. I'm due to go back sometime in May if borders open. But I can, in all honesty, tell you that I'm not inclined to go back.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really worried about what they're doing in Canada. They're not handling this well at all. And if they're serious about it not spreading, they don't go around creating $5,000 fines up to $1 million fines. They create a curfew, and keep people home. We have a curfew here in Syria. We have only 8 or 9 cases. I think one person died, according to the news. And, people who are serious create a curfew. But in Canada, they're taking advantage of it to create fines starting $5,000 up to $1 million, which I think is really silly. And I'm sure there are quotas.
Let me go backtrack one question again. When you were in Canada and you were leaving Canada to go to London, right?
Mm-hmm.
They did not hand you a flyer in Canada?
No, there was nothing. Zero.
Not even a flyer.
No, not even in London. Arriving to London, nothing. I'm just talking almost 4 weeks ago now, a bit less, 3 weeks ago in London.
Very interesting. I'm just, it's just connecting the dots.
They were waiting too long to to take serious action about this. If any of it is true, they're just waiting too long. Whereas in Syria, immediately had sanitizers, immediately stopped people at the gates at the airport and took temperatures at every border, every customs office. Every restaurant, every out of a 9-year war. And these are people who are putting in a lot more effort than in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, people who are sitting around and blaming China, like, at least you do something at your end too. It's like the money laundering, and Canada can't even be bothered to ask where is the money coming from.
Yeah, I know. I've been covering that for years, but they don't bother. They don't bother taking
Right?
care of us. They don't care about us here.
Yeah, they care about them, and their fake economy. Because I think Canada is a fake economy. It's all numbers in a bubble.
Yeah.
So that's the deal. That's the deal.
Well, it's really good to hear from you. It's really good to hear that you're situated. It's really good that you're with your mom. And it's really good that you guys are organized. I'm really happy to hear that.
Thanks, Mike.
And,
Thanks so much. I hope you guys are okay as well in Canada. How's your family been?
Everybody,
Safe and
we're
everything?
okay. I'm teaching the kids karate. We're just kind of just keeping it simple here at the house. I check on my store once a week. Not once every day, sorry. I drive by, get out of the house, just go check on the store and come home, right?
Okay.
And that's about it. I got food. I'm not worried. I'm not complaining. I'm okay. I'm happy. I'm grateful. And I'm making my transmissions and getting the word out as much as possible.
That's great. Yeah, I really appreciate that, Mike. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah.
And what's going on with the Raven?
Well, he said he wants to take a hiatus for a while. He's got some, I spoke to him, I think it was 2 weeks ago, and he said he has a family, something with the family, and he wants to take a hiatus for a while and take care of business, right? So the poop's getting the poop's hitting the fan. Economically, everything.
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of people have prepared for this that's happening now their whole entire lives.
Yeah.
So
Well, I hope he's okay, and send him my greetings, and I hope we see him on the show again.
yeah, hopefully he comes back and he's in his underground lair somewhere in an undisclosed area. Probably that's the next time we'll hear from him. If this keeps getting worse, yeah, you're gonna start hearing from people in undisclosed locations in the next couple of weeks if we don't fix this problem.
Seriously? Is that how bad it's getting over there?
It might get to that. Yeah. But I think once they pull the plug on the internet, I think you're going to start to see a lot of unrest, civil unrest.
When are you expecting that to happen?
I don't know. I know that okay, I'll tell you when I think it might happen. It might happen when the hospitals get overwhelmed and break down. Once the hospitals basically get overwhelmed and can't handle anymore, and they send people home to die, I think that's when you start to see the internet get unplugged, because there's going to be too many people with cell phones, and then it's going to start changing everything. We're going to be in the dark for a while.
Right. That sounds like a good timing for it.
Yeah. So once the hospitals break down, then you see the internet supposedly go down for overusage or some Mickey Mouse reason, and then go from there, and then you start to see things unfolding.
Yeah. Wow. And I think you were saying about this 12-week thing in Ontario, was it? They're going to extend this for 12 weeks. I'm really worried about going back. I mean, I'm due to go back.
Well, why don't you, like, if you're worried, why don't you stay where you are?
Yeah, well, I have a job there, so I'm due to renew my contract and, start again. But it does cross my mind to, like, what does it mean to completely restart my life in a place where I've never lived in? It's a lot to think about. You know what I mean, Mike? It's a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm. Well, think about it. We're here to talk it through, right?
Fantastic. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you go. What time is it there?
It's now 9 a.m.
Oh, it's 9 in the morning. Okay, good. Is it warm outside?
Next day. It's freezing cold. It's been really cold, and right now it's so windy. We're gonna fly off the planet. I don't know where this wind is coming from. Yesterday was a bit okay, but there were many days that were super super cold around here. It can get really really cold in here.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I know
Well,
people don't
have
expect it
yourself
to
a fantastic
here.
day, and
Thank you so much.
please take care of
Mike,
yourself.
and
Okay.
everyone on your show, and you too, Mike, and everyone else. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Bye.
Bye.
That is Laila calling in from Syria. She's in Syria. I forgot she says she's like 150 miles west of the capital. I think 100 miles west of the capital. So connection was decent, but it broke up at times. I'm sorry about that, guys. So this is it, guys. Let me give you guys a rundown. So this is our callers for today on Mike in the Night. South Auckland, west of Sydney, Australia, Auckland, New Zealand, Toronto, Ontario, Seattle, Washington, Toronto, Ontario, Vancouver, British Columbia, Edmonton, Alberta, Central Australia, Thailand, and Syria. Tonight. So Randall Alexander's asking, Mike, what do you suggest? What's the best way to protect your finances until this crap, or protect against hyperinflation? Man, that's a tough one. The only way to hedge against hyperinflation is to buy gold, physical gold and silver, because you could always go back and exchange it for whatever currency they produce in the future. Or if the currency goes out of whack, at least you could get that hyperinflated currency for your gold if you bought it at a low rate now. And let's say the price of gold goes to $7,000 an ounce, you could go back and sell it for $7,000, and hopefully food doesn't skyrocket with it, which it usually does. And yeah, the best thing to do is physical gold and silver is the best way to hedge. Or you put a bunch of American cash in your mattress. I mean, I don't know any other way from that. But the problem is, American dollar is doing well only because every other currency is falling to it. Don't forget that, guys. Don't you forget that. I love China. Where's my I love China?
I love China. I love China.
A lot of good guests on tonight, man. Let's get, who do we got? We got this. Evan. Let's see if we could call, let me talk to Supremo. Let's see if he's still awake. Yeah.
Hey, Mikey.
Yo, Supremo, what's up, buddy?
Oh, not much. Just watching on YouTube, you know.
We're getting guests from all over the world.
Yeah, you got an impressive lineup tonight. Yeah, it's nice to hear Laila's voice again. I'm glad she's well.
Yeah, I'm happy too. I'm very happy. She's coming back to. Well, she's got a job and an offer here in Canada, but and it's up to her what she wants to do, right? Like, I mean, like you know, there's some countries you could be very safe in, you know, and there's some places that could be really. Anyways, I've been talking all night. Go ahead and wind down the show, buddy. You saw what's going on, so go ahead, man.
Sure. Hey Tig, how's it going? Yeah. Okay. Where this bug is concerned, I've got two thoughts about it. All right. If this thing is just the flu, then we need to know two things. Number one, did it really hit China as hard as it seems to have hit them, or is there another reason for all this mass death, or was there any mass death? Is this all, or was it all just the communists decided it was time to start cleaning out their people? Because if the Chinese economy was basically shut down, okay, then the wave is still coming our way. Even if we don't actually have a real pandemic on our shores here, guys, okay, we have an economic STD that's going to hit us hard here. You know, we've already tested positive for that, definitely. I mean, here it comes, right?
Don't forget the psychological ramifications of this.
Of course. I mean, people are at home. They're stuck at home. I'm well, Laila. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's but the system was going to crash anyway. I mean, we've known that. We've known that for a long time. So it might have been a pretext to just close everything down. All they need to really get going. You think about 2008, Mike, when the economy damn near ground to a halt because of credit problems. They can print enough money to get it going again. They can send everybody checks. They can call it some kind of emergency fund. It doesn't necessarily have to be a permanent UBI, just enough to jumpstart things. There needs to be a reset of some kind. You know what I mean? It has to happen. It had to happen anyway. We knew it was coming.
Yeah,
So
regardless
right now,
of this, we've been calling for this for the last 5 years.
Yeah, that's right. So it's like when your computer starts screwing up. What do? You turn the power off. You walk away. You get a cup of coffee, right? You give it a couple minutes, and then you boot it back up again. And where the economy's concerned, no, it's not dead. Of course, the stock market's, you've got a lot of people that are actively trading, but you also have most of the trading now is done with algorithms. Robotic traders. So when it starts to go down, well, it starts triggering sell signals, and then the thing takes off. Right?
I got an article here. Alaska's coronavirus count climbs. The state's fastest growing region poses a puzzle. So way up in Alaska, you're getting regions, pockets getting hit pretty hard, eh?
Yeah, well, they're not really used to being told what to do, right?
Right.
And they probably aren't. Depends on the government too. I mean, for the most part, the federal government can give guidance, but it's ultimately, and Trump said himself, it's up to the governors to decide what they're going to do. I don't know if they have a Republican or a Democratic governor up there. I think he's a Republican. But if they didn't take it seriously, right, and they didn't insist on social distancing, as you will, or whatever, then it's still going to be a question of, this is going to spread. But there is plenty of evidence now that, you get hit by a bus, and if you tested positive for coronavirus, that's what killed you. So there's no question, at least on this side of the pond, a considerable number of those deaths that weren't from, COVID plus pre-existing conditions, and let's face it, just about everybody in North America has pre-existing conditions, is pumping up the numbers. But it still comes down to, you look at New York, it's kind of a basket case right now.
630 people have died due to coronavirus in New York State's bleakest 24 hours.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's really bad. But there again, is it all COVID-19, or is it, la cerveza bug, or is it they tested positive for COVID, but they had something else besides, or they got whacked by a bus? Right? I mean, we're talking about New York State and specifically New York City.
Manhattan,
they're not fans. Yeah, they're not fans of the Trump administration. And if you think that there isn't a political motivation to all this, you're nuts. You're out of your mind. There is absolutely nobody at all. I mean, it's very begrudgingly when anyone is giving the federal administration any kind of credit whatsoever for doing anything right. Right, between the media, I mean, if you've seen any of the press conferences, those clowns haven't changed their tune at all. There isn't anything about it that has gotten like remotely serious. It is 100% partisan.
That's true.
Where China's concerned, no, I don't think they've contained it.
But they wrote a book, Supreme.
Yeah, no, anything coming from China is.
But they wrote a book, and it's going to be in 23 languages. How they saved the world, and they saved Christmas.
Absolutely, yeah. The new thoughts of chairman. Now you bet. No, China's a clown state. I've said it before. It's a clown state. It's a gangster murder state. And
I hate how they treat their people like animals. It pisses me right off.
You know what? The Chinese people, I hate what's happening to them. I hate that, you've got 2-3 generations now that have been born into this absolutely satanic, ridiculous garbage system that they have. It's got to be hell on earth there.
Yeah.
It absolutely has to be. I'm seeing riots, right? I mean, we've seen outbreaks, we've seen protests. There's going to be people there who find ways to resist a little more forcefully from now on, because I'm sure that among the people dropping dead from this bug, which I have no choice but to assume is true, there's also been a lot of mass murder. They've been using this as an opportunity to kill dissidents and opponents as well, which they were doing.
But the thing is, it's going to be wiping out the elite and everybody else, right?
Well, it's a risk, definitely. But but their financial situation was already precarious. The last thing in the world they would want to do is shut down their economy. But because China has become the manufacturing center to the world, if they do that, if they said, okay, we're gonna use this as a pretext to shut down our economy for 90 days, what would it do to the rest of the world? Right? That would be an act of war all by itself, economic war, supply chain disruption. So that would have caused a panic and a collapse. I've said before, if they suddenly said, okay, well, we've got money problems at home, so they told all these millionaires that laundered their money over here to start dumping your properties, and we want that money back there, that would crash the system. Even if they had mortgages, it would definitely collapse some banks. And even if they paid cash for everything, the drop in the price leaves just about everybody in the big cities underwater.
Well, everybody was hanging off a friggin' shoestring, or not even a spider web.
Oh, absolutely. I see things in here about the death of the middle class. The middle class has been gone for decades.
Yeah, the death of the middle class. It's working poor now. We've been calling it 5 years, maybe 6 years on this channel, the working poor, and now other channels are picking that up and using it.
Absolutely. The definition of middle class now is how big of payments can you afford to make. It's got nothing to do with building wealth.
Nope.
And people thought that they were building wealth by buying housing. Yeah, no. Yeah, maybe in 1950, maybe in 1970, maybe in 1990. Okay. But the reason prices have spiked the way they have is because interest rates over that time period went from 12% to 0.
Yeah.
Right? So when the cost of money drops that much, what's the price of just about everything going to do after a while? It's going to go to the moon, especially the most important assets.
Okay, we got another article here. Coronavirus deaths top 200 in Massachusetts.
Yeah, well, same deal. What are the details? Are there pre-existing conditions? Were they elderly? Did they test positive but got whacked by a bus? Like, these numbers don't mean anything anymore. I'm not saying it's not real. You yourself know someone who's sick right now. That's the problem. Is most
I know 2 people who died of it now.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And they're young.
It has killed people. I mean, okay, it's just the flu or influenza B, as Eduardo said earlier. Maybe it is, but there's no question about it. It's a new wave of something that for some reason conventional treatment isn't working on. And we do lose hundreds of thousands of people around the world to regular flu every year. So it seems like a pretty strange pretext to collapse the global economy. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of, well, there's some war going on. This is why, information control and fear. Red pill Gary. That's right. Definitely. They're trying to. They're trying to scare people. Me, you know what? I work in a seasonal business. We're down until summer anyway. I started prepping at the end of January to sit at home for a while. I'm fine. It's all of these other people that are out there that are really going to start hurting. And they're just sort of kind of maybe dangling the idea of sending them some financial help. What most people in Canada need to understand is that your government, those people running your government right now are not incompetent. They're not stupid. Mm-hmm. They hate you. They're not Canadians.
No.
They are traitors. They're not your friends. It would not be difficult for them to, bend a little bit of muscle here and there and get some pipelines built and rearrange some financial services and certainly stop flights from China, which, if I understand correctly, are still happening right now.
No, you're not going to block flights from China. I'm sorry. And I found out from Laila, they're not even giving flyers at the airport anymore.
Yeah, that's right. They're not doing anything about it at all. Like, they're saying, well, we're going to do this and do that, and everyone's self-quarantine. But it still comes down to the planes are still coming, and it was really only a week or two ago that they finally closed that open wound at Roxham Road in Quebec, where people were still coming across the border. They were finally forced to close that, probably because the U.S. told them to do it, or we will.
We got Rand Ross in the comments who super chatted me $20, saying, "Are they taking us to World War III to keep the elites in power?" You know, I've been asked that quite a few times. I've been actually brought it up a few times on the show, too. Going to war is the next thing. And if you watch the show, Supreme, did you watch that Making Sense of Business or Making Sense of News?
No, I didn't.
I started a new show on my channel called, I'm going to start doing it on, I think I'm going to start doing it on Fridays. Fridays at 5 p.m. It's called, while we're on lockdown, called Making Sense of News, Episode 1. And just getting news articles and kind of piecing them together. And one of the main articles there is called, the show is called Cocaine Background Noise, where America's sending warships over to Venezuela to stop the trafficking of cocaine. Why would they want to provoke a country during this time of crisis with this outbreak? You see what I'm saying? So there's something going on, and then there's something like, are they trying to go to war with Venezuela so that they could basically go in there and muscle around Venezuela and bring some freedom there because
right
this COVID is covering it up, or I mean,
yeah, freedom and democracy, 1,000-pound JDAM at a time. Yeah, I'm gonna pan back the lens on that a little bit. I'm gonna tell you what I see. Okay,
please.
I have maintained, and I continue to maintain, that what we have right now is yes, to your super chatter. Yes, there is an attempt to get World War III going, but there is also another side attempting to stop it. I maintain that there is a civil war among the elite right now.
Can I ask you a question, Supreme?
Sure.
If there is a World War III, what the hell would they be fighting for?
All the marbles.
No. But what are they fighting for? Like, he said this and she said that war? Or oil? What is it?
Power and control. You know, those shadowy elites that everybody on here seems to understand. Yeah, no, they're not united. There's a struggle going on behind the scenes, and it's not necessarily there's black hats versus white hats, okay? But just like we weren't necessarily white hats during World War I or II, right? I mean, we killed civilians. There was all kinds of terrible things that happened. It's just that they were our side. Well, yeah, obviously we're not at war yet, Mike Banks, because you know we don't have air raid sirens going off, and thankfully no mushroom clouds so far. No, I think there is a group that is. I maintained in 2016 that was the globalist Stalingrad. These people are losing. What you're seeing right now is, Spark Jive, CV19 is fear propaganda. Even if it's a real bug and it isn't that serious, yes, it is absolutely being ginned up as the end of the world. I say that because you've always got people say voting doesn't matter, and elections don't matter, and we have no power, and we have no chance, and it's all over, and we might as well just drop our pants and take the shot, right? Okay, the sheep are gonna give up. Well, there are hundreds of millions of sheep in the world sitting at home with guns. Okay, like, please stop that. Yes, there are sheep in the world, no question about it, but a lot of them, at least in democracies that are still halfway democracy. Okay, those sheep have a vote too. They have a say, and some of them own guns, or they've hid their money, or they've prepared, so they don't have to go line up for, you know what I mean, food in exchange for taking a mark on our right hand or a forehead or whatever. Okay, no, there's a civil war going on. The reason that those ships are going to interdict drug trafficking is because that's also where the human trafficking is.
Right.
And
I brought that up. I brought that up on the show too, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to say it. It's just,
you've got to remember, Mike, that the CIA, has been caught with planes that have crashed,
I know,
landed in the wrong spot, hauling cocaine and all that.
Yeah, I know. They were
right?
one. I remember that one airplane that was grounded in Mexico City, and then the inspectors went on. They found enough cocaine in there to supply like America for 2 years.
Yeah, they've busted enough fentanyl last year to basically kill everybody in North America. There was so much of this stuff, as I've mentioned on previous shows. You know, my landlady upstairs lost her daughter to that damn stuff June of last year. It's a terrible thing. No, it's important to remember that this is where a lot of the financing comes for these globalist projects. It's not just all corporations and banks. I mean, you've got a lot of dark money, and it comes from the drug trade. And it comes from human trafficking. And as I've mentioned before, most of it is run by people who are intensely religious, and they're not nice people. It doesn't matter if you believe in God or the devil or not. You're dealing with people who trade in blood. They trade in children and abuse, because they believe there's an energy from it, black magic. You can say that there's no basis for it. Yeah, Cyrus, the elites will be the last ones to die, won't they? Wasn't Hitler like practically one of the last people to die when
Yeah,
Berlin
he
fell.
died in Argentina in like 1960.
They got a lot of people to throw away before it comes to that. No, the purpose of the drug and the human trafficking interdiction is to cut off their funding.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Last week there were 150 people who tried to get across the U.S. border. The wall is working. And the fact that, you know, now that everyone else is locked down, there's a whole bunch of people that have gone back to Mexico because they can't, you know, they can't simply get paid in cash because they don't want to get caught outside, right?
Right.
So it's complicated. It's not as simple as, oh my God, they're coming to get us. You know, Bill Gates is coming with his sticky needle and his nanotechnology to turn us all into glow in the dark slaves. Right? But yes, these people are sick. They are absolutely out of their minds evil. They have black hearts, hearts of stone. They're monsters. But you know what? We've always known that. JFK warned about that.
Yeah,
Winston
he did. And so
Churchill
did Eisenhower
tried
too.
Yeah, Woodrow Wilson, after he, you know, signed the Federal Reserve Act.
Oh, he said on his deathbed that he sold out America.
Yeah, and he said there's people that you don't dare talk about above a whisper. Right? Like everyone knows this has been going on for a long time. Why is it such a shock? Yeah, they're making their move, but they're making their move and just trying to destroy the economy and take down the world because they realize they ain't going to get their population of 500 million sex slaves. They're not going to own everything in the world. They're actually not winning. This thing is actually hanging in the balance right now. It's not that simple. So yeah, what these people are doing right now in these the U.S. Navy and all these other forces around the world are doing is they're cutting down the drug trade because they know that is, you pull that plug, these people run out of money.
Yeah.
And they can't just go get it. You know, you can't just go pull $5 billion out of the bank to fund something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I know what you mean, Jelly Bean.
That's my take on it. That's the 30,000 foot view.
Okay.
So it's still a struggle, and it always has been a struggle. I mean, they don't win every battle. Remember when we had gun registration here in Canada in the 90s? And what happened there? Oh, it's going to cost $2 million. Well, about $900 million later, Harper wound up scrapping it. Well, where did all that money go? Where did that $900 million to set up a $2 million long gun registry go? It got laundered. It went into Quebec. It went into drugs. It went into, you know, dark funds somewhere.
Secluded places in Costa Rica.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like they're winning. Well, you know what? Up until probably literally the printing factories were blown up, the Germans had posters everywhere saying they were going to win too.
Right.
That means nothing. Truth blows out the window when a war starts. Okay? Like, you're not going to get a lot of information from either side. You have to look at what's happening. And, you know, Bill Gates said he's gonna fund simultaneously seven labs to start working on this vaccine to try all the different ones because there's a race. Because he is on record as saying they understand now that they're not able to convince the great mass of people the way they used to. They're going to have to try to force this on us. And I believe the reason that our government keeps looking the other way about all these planes coming in is because they're at war with the United States. You know, and I don't know exactly why, but our prime minister was supposed to be in self-isolation for 14 days. I think we're on day 23 now, aren't we? Yeah, what's going on there?
I don't know what's, to be really frank with you.
Is he in the Canadian Laurentian Fuhrer bunker, or is he under house arrest? Good God, I'm hearing all kinds of rumors going around, but it makes no sense right now. We're in the middle of a national emergency, and this guy is at Harrington Lake. And so far as I can tell, not doing much.
Yeah, I'm just looking at here at the other articles.
Guy, have you ever heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
Yes. I even saw them. They're actually out of the way to get to.
500 million? Yeah, well, these people are satanic pedophiles. What do you think the average age of that population is going to be, man?
Yeah,
I know. They're not kidding.
Let me tell you, when I went to the Georgia Guidestones, I remember this specifically. They had, it was taped off, and I could only see it from a little bit of a distance. They taped it off, and they taped, like, entry into going to see it, because, caution tape, because someone vandalized it.
Well, I've seen those pictures, but those pictures are 10 years old. But I imagine that thing gets shit thrown at it on a regular basis. Pardon the language. You know, because I mean, it is what it is. It is someone declaring. The way these people work, Mike, it's like when you were a little kid, you know, and you wanted a cookie, but mom was napping on the couch, you know, so you go up and say, Mom, can I have a cookie? Right? And if she didn't say no, then you took it as a yes. That's how they work. They hide stuff in plain sight. They put it out there. They announce it. And then basically they can say, all right, well, we warned you and you didn't do anything about it, so we assume that's consent. And that's how they do it. And it's the most bizarre freaking thing that you can think of. But
it's like people apologizing for getting caught.
Yeah, it's apologize for getting caught. Yeah, I mean, why do they constantly censor channels and throttle them back, and Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts and all kinds of things get censored or cut back? They try to censor you. What comes out of your mouth?
Well, you know what's scary? What's scary about this is that, like, I see all these channels around me that are 3 months, not even a year old, surpassing me by leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
And they put up a video once every 2 weeks or once a week and nothing. It's just a bunch of movie clips or something from news clips, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
No
yeah,
effort
Mike
put
Banks.
into it. My channel's been strike down 2 times with 3 strikes. And I couldn't live stream for 2 times back to back. We had to go to my backup channel, remember?
Oh yeah. Oh no, they're
like so many times I've been so and then there's the one once in a blue moon they open it up and I'm allowed to get subscribers for 1 or 2 days and they close it off. And then I get no more subscribers for like a whole year.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to address something from Mike Banks. Satanic pedophile. Is that all the priests that molest people? Yes, but that's not it. That's not all of it. Yes, there are definitely Catholic priests that there was a determination to look the other way, especially starting in the 60s, so that, you know, actual practicing homosexuals were allowed into the priesthood. There's no question about it. That's been going on. But you also see in the news school teachers. Okay, thousands of school teachers have been caught, you know, having sexual congress with children. Okay, billionaires, bankers, all kinds of preachers. But I mean, obviously, it happens in the Middle East in a lot of places. Okay, in the more primitive areas, definitely. Yeah, businessmen, all that stuff. It's it's common. It's everywhere. It's widespread. It's widespread and it's ancient. I mean, you know, we take a lot of cues from our civilization from the Greco-Roman example, but both of them were pederastic, slave states. There was a lot of things about them that were ugly. The Aztecs, Mike.
Los Aztecas,
yeah. When Pizarro and Cortez and those guys, when they got to Mexico City, that island in the old Lake Mexico, it's gone now. But there were racks, 15, 20 feet high with these skulls.
And people massacred, like people being massacred by the thousands.
And these nice shiny skulls, they built walls and racks out of. It was a cult of death. It was absolutely disgusting. This is as old as the human race. It doesn't stop. There's always someone hungry for blood. So it's just not it's not focused just on one group, okay? It's widespread, it's everywhere. And a lot of the people, whether they're in the Catholic Church or whether they're in Masonry or whether they're in government or wherever they are, a lot of the royal families of the world have been involved in this stuff over the years too.
Of course. There's always these huge chain gangs of groups that are part of this, and groups from God knows where, and shadow groups and shadow entities. And it's been happening and they want to put the bad cloak over Roman Catholicism so they could show the rest of the world how mean and bad they are. But if you peel back the layers of the onion, you'll start to see what's happening in Christianity, because Christianity is about loving your neighbor and it's about doing the right thing. When you peel back the layers deep enough, you'll start to see what Jesus or what those prophets and at the time stood for, right?
Yeah, and it's important to remember too that Jesus specifically called out the synagogue of Satan.
That's right. He did.
He said Satan is your father. He wasn't lying. Okay, those particular Pharisees, this is the kind of thing they were practicing at that time. I said this has been going on for a long time. This goes back at least to Babylon, and probably prior to that to the Canaanites And I don't doubt it goes back further than that yet. The oldest known human tooth discovered, and they dated it at 800,000 years old, had evidence of cannibalism. I just read that 2-3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
This stuff is brutal. It's absolutely brutal. Yeah, Craig Cook, Christianity sold out. Yeah, the Pope. Yeah, no, the Pope is he's a leader there. Okay, that's got nothing to do with the average Catholic. Okay,
nope.
It's one of those things where when an organization gets big enough and organized enough, the people at the top are usually more like bureaucrats. They're usually more soulless. You know, you got to be a little bit psycho to claw your way to the top. And he's also a Jesuit. You know, and there's lots of people here understand what that's all about. And yeah, it's got nothing to do about spreading the gospel at all.
Nope.
It's just that's the problem. These things get hijacked. Yeah, Nicolaitans, Craig Cook. Exactly.
The United States of America.
They took over. They regard themselves as the winner because they found a movement, they got in front of it and started, they put a ring through its nose and started leading it around. And it's just it's the same in every religion, but certainly in Christianity, it's caused a lot of the divisions that we have. And I'm seeing rumors that the Pope has actually renounced the title of Vicar of Christ, but I can't verify that. But I'm not shocked. A lot of the things he's saying is, they're very anti-Christian. Like he's really starting to de-emphasize Jesus and just
Mexico.
more along the line of world peace and whatever. Globetrotter Mike, what's with the Q statements? Anything? There is a certain amount of consistency to them. I keep an eye on it, okay, but I don't. It's like everything else. I have strong opinions, loosely held. I'm keeping an eye on it. Some of it is pretty amazing, actually, but I know of a couple of accounts on Twitter that don't subscribe to QAnon. They don't subscribe to conspiracies at all, but they're still pretty confident that there is a struggle going on behind the scenes and that Trump is actually winning.
That's right.
So we'll see, guys. Okay, if the tanks are on the street for our protection, great. If the tanks are on the street to keep us in our home until we can be vaccinated, well, then we'll know it's Boogaloo time.
Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
All right,
Boogaloo,
let's lighten
baby.
things up, guys. Last channel plug here. Guys, if somebody asked me, Matthew asked if I accept crypto. No, I don't. I have a Patreon. If you guys want to support this channel, get on Patreon. $1 a month. That's $12 a year, and that buys me coffee every month. So if we get enough people joining Patreon, that's really good. I really appreciate that. If you want to join Patreon, I got 30 Patreon supporters, which is really good. Guys, don't forget to pick. This is the T-shirt I'm wearing on Mike in the Night. Here it is, guys. This is the T-shirt I'm wearing. It's friggin' awesome. I get compliments. There's not a lot of people that see me with it when I'm out, but the ones that do see it, they're like, wow, that's a nice T-shirt, man. Amazing Mike in the Night T-shirt right here, guys. If you guys want to pick up, and the Supreme Cannon mug.
Yeah, I like when you showed it to me. Yeah, I love the job you did on that.
Yeah, well, I tried everything with this. So here it is, a Mike in the Night Supreme Cannon mug. There's your Supreme Cannon right there, and it's a little like cartoony cannon, like from it's kind of funny, like a Trappa, like a Banana Republic type of cannon,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
it's kind of cute.
Yeah, that's right.
And
One
it
of
says
those little primitive things that maybe the Russians took into the First World War, right?
Yeah, it says SC for Supreme Cannon on it.
Yeah.
And what colors is it coming in? Yeah, the dark green I was looking at. I might get this one, the dark green one.
I'm going to get green here. Yeah, atomized asteroid. I see that. That's number one. That's not a reason to give up on Q. Okay.
Don't give up on Q, guys, please.
Yeah, no. It's just they appointed BlackRock. BlackRock is on record as saying they waived all the fees for running those purchases, those bond purchases.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, Trump is a negotiator. He made a deal. No, the Federal Reserve still exists. Okay, but the Treasury has basically taken over its functions. And so they got about $6 billion of 0% interest money, and Trump can do with it whatever he wants. So no, the global economy is going to get going again quickly. It just takes money. Okay, and there's lots of it. And if we wind up with some kind of gold-backed currency, well, it's going to pop back faster than you can imagine. Remember, the economy did not crash. People got sent home. You don't have an economy. You've literally turned off the switch, and you're going to reboot it. It's going to take a while to reboot. That's all. It's going to be tough. We're in a war right now. That's what I believe. We are in a war. And instead of just us getting attacked and trying to hold ground, now we're actually fighting back a little bit. We collectively, obviously. So yes, if you pray, do that, man. If you don't, well, you know what? Just think about the good things in your life and the things that are worth fighting for to you. Because if we're about to get into boogaloo time, boys and girls, then you know, you need to prepare your hearts and your minds. This is a weird time we're living in, right? It absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's unique in history what we have right now. It's an interesting time to be alive, but there isn't anybody who's going to willingly go back to the way things were before this happened.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people at home that have got time to. Yeah, we'll see, Elizabeth. It's not a recession yet, hon. Everyone's at home. There's nothing happening. Okay, we got food and we got fuel and we got hydro and we got.
It's when we hit depression mode.
It's when we hit depression mode, and you hit
like
depression.
if they take out our internet, and then hospitals can't deal with the loads, and hospitals start to break, and then you start to see things start breaking.
Yeah. It's it's. We're still going to be ruled by an elite when this is over. You know that, right, guys?
Yeah,
okay,
it's still going to go. Yeah,
an elite takes over. That's always how it is. It's just we want to replace the bad bastards with a slightly better group of bastards that will actually answer to us a little more. We might be pleasantly surprised, and let's face it, it wouldn't take much to be pleasantly surprised anymore, would it?
I love China.
Right? Yeah. So anyway, I'll leave it at that, guys. I'm waiting to see what's going to happen, just like you are. But I stand by my thesis. There's a war going on in the heavenlies right now, so to speak.
There is.
Okay, and I love that mug, Mike. Thank you. I've about to order.
I'll see if I could do one next week. Another one, like a completely different design. I could do up to like 500 things in my store, so I'm just gonna go crazy next week while I'm downtime.
Yeah.
And I got a few side projects I'm working on. And Dave from Berlin is asking, Mike, which hospital is overloaded? Well, right now in New York, Manhattan, and Queens and Staten Island, all those places, the hospitals are right now overloaded and they're at a breaking point, right? In about 3 days' time from today, 2 days' time then, because it's already the next day pretty much, you will be seeing these hospitals hit severe breaking points. And then it's going to start coming through Canada slowly. Canada's behind a few weeks, right? So is Seattle.
Yeah.
So is these other places. Give it a few weeks, and you'll start to see things. We'll get a full picture, I say, in 3 weeks. What do you say, Supremo?
Yeah, well, every week something changes. So, 3 weeks we'll have a definitive answer whether we're past
I think so.
or not. A lot of people have already got cabin fever, and this is going to tough them up a little bit. You know what? Everyone's fed. They're home. They got internet. They got heat. They got everything they need. They just can't go and do what they want when they want, right? Oh, my God, that's terrible. It's the end of freedom. Well, they couldn't do it during World War II either.
Mm-hmm.
Laila, what do you mean people closing businesses? No, the businesses have been closed because of the lockout. Landlords losing income. If they don't have, you're right. It all has spillover. There's the printing press is going to get fired up at least enough to because time is money, and that lost time is going to have to be replaced with something. If a bunch of businesses go under and we wind up becoming a nation of Amazon warehouse people and internet prostitutes, then there's going to be blood.
Yeah,
no question about it. There's no question about it. But
Elizabeth's saying in Canada it's not overloaded. It's 3 weeks to go in Canada. We're like New York is getting hit. In a couple of days, New York's going to see some of the worst days in its history with this virus.
Yes.
But Canada's still a little bit behind because we're severely under-tested.
Mm-hmm.
And so is Mexico. Canada, Mexico, Australia, those countries. I don't know if you could go back to the beginning of the show. I don't know if you remember the second caller from Australia that's having breathing problems.
Yes.
And they would not test him because he wasn't overseas. And that there is a case of under-testing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Where the economy is concerned, there were a lot of businesses, a lot of Airbnb, a lot of landlords that leveraged themselves into 10 or 20 places, businesses that were barely hanging on by their fingernails. They were going to close in the next recession anyway.
Right.
So if we wind up with some kind of reset or even a freezing of payments, if not necessarily a full jubilee, then those people will have an opportunity to start over. Like we need a deflation or some kind of reset so that everything is affordable again. So I think we will have a new currency at the end of this. I don't think people are going to tolerate another 10 years of the same post-crash environment.
I see an Amero. American, Mexico, Canada backed currency.
It's not impossible, but if it just gets if it goes well, I'd prefer not digital. But if it's digital or at least it's backed by gold, then you don't need a one continental currency. Everybody pegs their currency to gold.
That's it. Right? Done. Problem solved.
Problem solved. Yeah. There's talk about it. The one of the ladies that was looking at being the Fed chairman after Powell is a gold bug. It's coming back sooner or later.
Well, we don't have a choice in the matter.
You can't just have a digital currency because then it isn't backed by anything, and then you have a digital fiat currency. Mm-hmm. That's not going to fly. No, we're not going to accept that unless we have a reset.
Yeah.
And there needs to be a redistribution too. All this black money, all these black pools of money that have been soaked up by cutting down the drug trade. Okay, but that by itself, there's going to be a lot of money floating around, probably going to balance the books of a few countries, just because of the bleeding that's caused by crime, human trafficking, drug abuse. Obviously, addicts aren't going to magically be cured by a lack of product, okay, but at least they can get their feet under them and get some healing.
We got Matthew in the comments saying, my mom was across the country here in Australia. She came back with the flu. Bad. Twice she got rejected for testing, but she woke up last week and could hardly breathe, and they finally tested her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sounds like you have to be, it sounds like you got to be damn near close to death before they finally get around to testing you, which is ridiculous. Maybe the tests aren't reliable, or they just simply are. A lot of your governments are not your friends. That's another reason you need to stay inside. Okay, you need to protect yourself from your own governments, folks. They don't have your best interests at heart, obviously. Okay, they're not your friends. So you need to protect yourself so when this passes over, you're one of the ones still walking upright with 100% of your lung capacity. They don't like you. And until such time as they start to fear your wrath, at least at the ballot box, they're going to keep pulling crap like this.
They are. Yeah. They are.
So back your champions. If you have any alternative media, they're not getting any dark money. Okay, throw them a few bucks.
Dude, I got I don't think I'm alternative media because I'm not really media. We're more of a talk show.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, you bet.
We do discussion, but no, with the it's and I won't sell out either, Supreme.
No, I'm not going to either. I mean,
I will never sell out.
No, I know.
I don't need that. I don't need money that bad.
You don't need the money. It's not that big of a deal, right?
No.
Like we're just trying to build a community here. We're trying to have a place where we can have some fun and and wear some team colors and talk each other through this. God, a year ago, we were all kinds of on the brink of all kinds of crises and things were just, you could hear the cracking and the snapping of the mine shaft about to collapse, right? Even a year ago. And now here we are, and it's happening. It's happening. The thing we were preparing for is happening, and now everyone's freaked out.
Yeah.
It's like this chaos is opportunity. You've got to see it that way, right? Like whatever this thing is that's floating around that's got us all sitting inside, okay, it's not killing that many people. Okay, this is not the Andromeda strain.
No.
There's going to be an economy. There's going to be a world. There's going to be something outside the door when this is over.
Yep. I think in 3 weeks we could paint a full picture and we could step back and take a look at what the finished product looks like in 3 weeks.
I think the wave will peak in 3 weeks. At least 3 weeks, we'll know where we are. And again, that's assuming that all of the information they're giving us is correct, but it's going to be anecdotal. If this thing is the friggin' Andromeda strain, you will know people in your town who've died of it, and more than one, right? And so far, I haven't seen it, thank God. Right? It's just that you got to be smart about it. And remember that there are jackasses running around out there doing whatever the hell they want, getting this stuff. Because they won't go home. And so why are you shocked? Do you know, guys, that most of the rules and regulations that you have to live with in your life, you have to live with because of that 10% of jackasses who will not follow the rules.
Jackaloons.
And absolutely will not do what they're told.
Yep.
Even if it makes sense.
Even if it makes sense,
That's why in the end we all suffer. And we get all these loopholes in paragraph 3, article 2 and everything else, you know? We used to just need 10 commandments. Now we have 10,000 regulations. And it's because of those dickwads. Pardon the français.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, no, it's going to be week by week, guys. So
we'll talk each other through this. Supreme, let me know if you're down for doing a show during the week.
Yeah, I was sorry, Mike. I got social media overload, so by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, you know what? I just shut off the computer and I read a book and I went for walks.
Me too.
I'm really
I shut down everything for 2 days. I came on, made a video of something that I thought maybe that we should share, and then I would turn my phone off, take a nap, play with the kids in the backyard, cut the grass, do other stuff.
Yeah, no, I was going to tell you what I had done, and then I forgot, and then went all day Friday. I guess they didn't reset the router upstairs after a power outage, so I didn't actually have internet all day Friday anyway.
You're so lucky, dude.
So you know what? I didn't miss it a bit.
Nope.
I hate to say it, but no, I'm definitely down to do show next week. Yeah,
let's put something together, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll talk really soon. And I really hope this thing is over in the next couple of weeks. Cause I don't know how long I could, I don't mind making videos and stuff, but I like to be out and about too, right?
Oh, I agree. And it's getting tedious. And we're already starting to get block watched, yelling at people for being out, even if they're by themselves. Yeah, we don't need that garbage.
Yeah, Craig Cook's asking when the next show is. It's right here, buddy. Go to the channel. Tomorrow I'm going to put up a new Mike in the Night. Go to the channel and then go to set reminder. The next show is Trends in the Housing Market, episode 200. So set your reminder there, Craig, so you can watch the housing crisis all over the Commonwealth and jobs and unemployment and all that other crap. And Mike in the Night, I'll put up a new icon for tomorrow for next week's show and for call-ins and stuff. And and go from there. Hey, take a look at Ecuador, Supreme. Take a look at Ecuador and Peru when you get some time and find out what's going on there.
Okay, I'll have a look. Yeah, I saw your little blurb there. I was away from the computer, but bodies in the streets.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds pretty sketchy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You better have a look at that. I don't know, maybe it was a gang war?
No. Go watch it. There's so many angles. There's so many angles of it.
Okay.
There's so many cases, though. It's not like a case. It's like 300 cases in 3 days.
Oh, dear. Yeah, what a gong show. Okay. Sure, I'll go have a look at it.
God bless you.
And you. God bless everyone. Talk soon.
Bye. Dennis is saying, no way this is over in a couple of weeks. No, it's not over in a couple of weeks. We're going to know what's happening in a couple of weeks. I'm more antsy-pantsy right now over this because I just want to know what the heck is going on. That's all. I just want to know where we stand. Guys, don't forget to pick up your Mike in the Night swag while you're at home. Look cool at home. And that's it, guys. I'm falling asleep. Let's play one Mike in the Night.
Gemini King, Mike in the Night, and the Gemini crew.
Ooh! Support me on Patreon. Let's go. $1 a month. Check out the store.
Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night.
Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world.
'Cause you're here with us tonight. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world. Give this page another curl. 'Cause you're here with us tonight.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.